This is the URT. You are the URT. Big up the URT. Smash a like for the URT. Subscribe to the URT. Big up, people. Big up, Saeed, for the raid. Appreciate you. Love. Likes will be appreciated. People, we know what's going on. People, we know what's going on. There's been too much propaganda for my liking. Too much propaganda from this football club for my liking. But welcome to the stream, people. Welcome to the show. I hope you all well. Jum'ah Mubarak to all my Muslims. Love, light to all my people enjoying their Friday. The weekend is here. We're here. Love and light. The weather is absolutely a stinker, but we're live. We're direct, people. So love, light. And welcome to the show. We've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about this Omar Berrada Andy Mitten interview. We're going to be talking about the Glazers apparently want to sell. Some of them want to sell their shares. We're going to be breaking that down. We're also going to be breaking down the latest transfer rumors for Manchester United. Manchester United fans thinking everything's in the bag. We've got this, we've got that. And I don't know about that. The PR is next level, bro. It's absolutely next level. We're gonna be going through that. Trust me. And these fans are like, oh yeah, we've got to give them a chance. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. Nah, we ain't got to do nothing, mate. We ain't got to do nothing. Ineos are frauds, mate. Absolute frauds. And now we're seeing what they went from Elliot Anderson to now top tier, and we're getting Edison. The only player that we were signing is Edison. And at this moment in time, and people are talking about Alex Scott, who I like, Fernandez, who I like, but now Real Madrid are coming in for them. And then West Ham as well, they need to put the crap back down, and they need to go for a walk or a hike. They need to chill the hell out, mate. They are laughable. It's not the word West Ham, thinking they're going to get 80 million. But Mittens, you know what? Andy Mittens is the biggest letdown, man. He's now doing interviews for Manchester United MUTV. He's doing shows for MUTV. This is a guy who carried a fight, who never wanted the Glazers ever to have ownership. He did a lot, man. He did a lot. I still get the fan scene because there's a lot of people that are involved in the fan scene. And it's just to go into games. I always bought the fan scene as a kid. So my uncle bought it for me when I couldn't get it. So I've got love for the people who write it, but he's a lost cause, man. He's the Glazer. And there's a question. We're going to get it up. We're going to get it up any minute right now. But there's a question he asked about what's your relationship with where Omar Berrada is absolutely ass-licking the Glazers, yeah? Literally. No Vaseline. Bent literally ass-licking the Glazers. He's bumming up to the great, you know what I mean, to the Glazers. He's basically doesn't say, well, this is what the fans think that the club has done, the Glazers have done to the club. What do you say to those fans who want the owners out and who are now saying Jim's not doing a great job? Like, what is going on? So at the end of the day, it is that, but we'll get it up. I'm gonna get it up for you guys, and I need to show you guys. So let me know what you guys think. I love to know, get your 2 pence on this. Can you guys hear me all right? Let me just check the microphone levels, the audio levels. Yeah, let me just check that. Big up. I'm just gonna send the link to a couple of people. Let's see if Luwani, if Ben, I'm not being organized as much today. But yeah, Luwani, Ben, or anybody wants to jump on. You know what? I might send it to Lesso, you know. Let's see if Lesso's about. Let's see if Lesso's about. Lesso, man like Lesso is about, you know. Let me have a look. But people, honestly, I need to, are you buying the PR? That's the first poll we're going to do. We're going to do a poll. We're going to do a couple of polls here. Also, the last thing of the show is that Ineos are broke. Ineos have been broke. They've been like 19 billion pounds in the red, mate. 19 billion. For the people at the back, 19 billion pounds in the red. And now we're hearing the Glazers are looking for some more investment. What's going on there? But then we've got all the latest transfer window as well, because we've only seemed to have agreed to sign one player. That's all I'm getting. all this about, and some reports are saying we're going to sign another midfielder. Some people saying 3 midfielders, but they only say maybe 1 other midfielder and maybe 1 towards the end of the window. But yeah, this is what I want to ask. Did you watch that? Did most of you see that Omar Berrada, Andy Mitten softball interview? Did any of you guys see that? That's the question I'm going to ask you guys. That is what I'm going to ask you guys. That is what I'm going to ask you. Did you guys see that? We're going to go through it. We're going to go through it. We're going to go through it. Manchester United in-house MUTV got Andy Mitten to do the interview because to almost kind of give some sort of credibility to Omar Berrada. Go, oh, well, look, he's not just talking to the journalists there. He's talking to people here. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, I don't give a damn, man. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn, mate. Why don't you come and talk to fans? Why don't you give, like the BBC, a sit-down interview? Why does it have to be all of this softball business? Why does it have to be the softball business? Why? Why are we why are we in this PR curated stuff where he's never going to face tough questions? He's never going to be able to face tough questions. I'm sure the club and every question that Andy Mitten had, the PR department looked at it and said, you can't answer that. You might be able to answer that, but don't ask that question. Ask another question. That's what they do because this is all fake. All of this is not a real interview because the real interview is, are you looking to have a job, Omar Berrada? Why? Why would you say that, Andy? Well, you wanted to get rid of Ten Hag. You then gave a new contract to Ten Hag. Then you sacked him after a couple of months later. Then you bring in a guy from Portuguese league who doesn't understand the Premier League, who plays a system, and then you've said to him, no, implement that system here now. And you can tell for the first how many games after the Europa League final that he was out of his depth. You wasted another money. You wasted all that money getting new coaches for Eric Ten Hag. Then you sacked Eric. You gave Eric a new contract. Then you got rid of Dan Ashworth. You've cost the club so money where so many working class people who are from Manchester United fans have been laid off. Can you please explain all those actions? Are you lucky to be in a job? That's the fucking real question. That's the real question. But they're never going to ask that question, are they? They're never going to ask that question. They're never going to ask that question, are they? They're never going to ask that question. And I've seen the majority of bootlickers bootlicking Potato Barrada. Bootlicking him. Bootlicking him going, yeah, he said he wants to win the league. Wants to win the league. It's absolutely. So let me ask this question now. Let me ask this question, and I want you all guys to start voting on this. I need you all guys to vote on this. So you need to be able to vote on it. All you guys need to vote on it. Yeah? I need you all to vote on it. And I want to know what you guys think. You think I'm wrong? Do you believe in everything Omar Potato Barrada said? I'm just a fan with an opinion. I'm just a fan with an opinion who's really sensitive. I'm really super sensitive to BS from this football club. I am super sensitive. Did you buy, that's the question, buy into the Barrada, Omar Berrada PR? Smash the likes, people. Please smash the likes. Let's get to 100 likes ASAP. Smash the likes and subscribe, people. Subscribe. Smash the likes and subscribe, people. It costs you absolutely nothing. Yay. or nay? Did you buy into that? That's what I want to know. Please get voting, people. Get voting. Did you buy into it? Are you bought into this? Because I really want to get a touch. Because a lot of the people that I'm saying, did you buy into it? Are you buying into it? There we go. Okay, let's have a look already. Did you buy into Omar Berrada PR interview? Smash the likes and subscribe. There you go. There you go. People are voting accordingly. People are voting accordingly. Listen, it's a free vote. I really want to know what you guys think. And those of you who believed every word he said and accepted that PR, that the waffle he was coming out with, then you need to let me know. You need to let me know. Genuinely need to let me know. This is effing crazy, mate. Honestly, crazy. I genuinely want to know. Let me get some of the comments of the people. Let me just read some of the comments. Big up. I don't buy into these affiliations. Landslide. Yeah, you know, the interview was bull when Mitten had brand spanking new trainers on. Wow. Maybe he got it from the club. Just got back running as a director of football before he joins AC Milan, restructured their club from head to bottom. Yeah, apparently Vavel has been linked to going to AC Milan. Yeah, of course. Ranier is not going to take a job at a club unless... He's not going to take a job, is he? Come on. He's not going to take a job unless there is a way of him being able to access certain players that are hungry and that want to bring AC Milan back to the top. He's not going to take on a project like that. He's not. He's not going to take on a project like that. Just sending the links to different people, so just bear with me. Let me just send this. Jump on, FC, people. Jump on, FC. I'm sorry, but let me just say that I'm sorry. Omar Berrada has such a punchable face. I can't stand it. Nah, man, we don't want to get violent with these people. I just want them to go leave Manchester United and just go to other clubs and carry their BSPR somewhere else. But I'm not here about violence, man. We don't want to do any violence. But yeah, people. I'm gonna play some of it. I want to play some of the interview for you guys. So, Omar Berrada interview. Here we go. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Bear with. Let me stop it there. Let me just open this up. Let me show you some of the things. So when he got asked about specifically about the relationship with the owners, this is what he comes out with. Are you ready?
It's a relationship of trust. We've known each other and worked together for many years. I trust his technical criteria. I trust the way he approaches.
He's talking about Wilcox here. So Wilcox was a coach, and he was like some finance person at Manchester City. Wilcox was a coach. So he's talking about Wilcox here.
His role. As I said, we've built a team around him, which is very well experienced in all the different areas of expertise. So we have a very good.
By the way, can you hear him? Is it loud enough? Can you hear it? Can you hear him? Can you hear him? Yeah. Is he all right? Is he all right? Can you hear him all right? Yeah. Is it loud enough? It's echoing. Oh shit. Ah. Right. 1 second. Let me get this off then. 1 second. Let me try something different. Yeah. Let me just try to get rid of the echo. Bear with me. What about this? Let's see if that's better. Tell me if it's better. Tell me if it's
good relationship. We know how we like to work, how we like to interact. We know what strengths he brings, what I can bring, and we try to do what's best for the club, really.
And what about your relationship with Sir Jim Ratcliffe? What's that like?
It's a very good relationship. It's I would say one of constant dialogue. He likes to be involved. He likes to be aware of what's happening around the club. He asks some very good questions. So he's somebody that's very committed to helping the management team be successful. Likewise with the Glazers, I have a very good relationship. I would say especially with Joel and Avi, who are the ones I interact with the most. And if you think about their experience, they have, I think, over 3 decades of experience in the world of sports, and have been involved with Manchester United for now over 20 years. So I think our relationship, generally the management team and the owners, is very good. There's a very good working dynamic between the owners as well, and that makes our jobs easier, really.
It seems quite stable at the moment. And one of the reasons is Michael Carrick's done very well as interim manager, now permanent head coach of Manchester United. What's your relationship like with Michael?
It's very good. I obviously didn't know him prior to him taking over the role. So when we went through the interview process, I met him for the first time. I had heard many good things about him, and everything has turned out to be true. He's somebody who loves the club, understands the values of the club, is a great man manager, and we've seen that with the players and how they've reacted to him taking over. And I think he's earned the right to continue leading the team over the next 2 years or more. But I would describe him as somebody who is very calm, but also very driven, and I'm sure he'll do everything he can, him and his staff, to make sure that we have a successful team this season, next season, and the year after that.
Does he fit into what a Manchester United manager should be, from what you've seen?
So you heard what he said about. You heard everything what he just said about Michael Carrick, and he said about what he said about the Glazers. Andy Mitten should have stopped him and said, "The Glazers have ruined this football club. You're praising people who the Manchester United fans feel completely different to where you're describing who the Glazers are. Even if you want to be like diplomatic, he could have said that. He could say that a lot of the fans dislike what the Glazers have done, the position the football club is in, right?" And then he goes on to talk about Michael Carrick. I just want people to believe this. I really want you to really understand what I'm talking about. This is how you know it's this absolute BS PR, because they never had Michael Carrick in mind to be the Manchester United coach, first team coach. He wasn't in their thinking. Him and Wilcox went and flew to Portugal to go and get Amorim, knowing that he played that system. And that every other football club in this country rejected him because they said, well, we haven't got the squad. Liverpool rejected him and said, we don't have a squad. West Ham rejected him because they said, we haven't got the squad to play 3 at the back. So the idea that it's some sort of mastermind, like Carrick is the great man manager, and all of this, no, you stumbled upon Carrick. Carrick wasn't part of the plan, Omar. You said the plan is to follow through with Amorim. So this idea that Carrick is part of some great plan, and there's a bit of breaking news as well today that's come out, that Manchester United are not improving their coaching squad. They're going to go with what they've got and bring back the Norwegian guy who's the set piece guy. That's all they're going to do is bring him back. That is what's breaking. They're going to stick with what they've got. They're going to stick with what they've got. That's what they're going to do. So this idea that Michael Carrick is some sort of, this idea that Michael Carrick, right, is some sort of like a grand plan of this Manchester United to go and win a league in the next 2 years. It's the biggest PR bullshit. And Andy Mitten knows better. He knows better to push back against that. There is zero pushback in this interview. It's all just one question. There's no follow-ups. You know, when you're doing an interview, right? Somebody says something, you know something that's factual, you push back against that. Then you ask a question. The person answers it in a PR way. Then you do a follow-up to try to get a real answer from that person. So this idea that Michael Carrick is the great man manager. So why don't you help Michael Carrick now? Why are you sticking with those coaches? Woodgate and Evans are not ready at this level. They're not ready at this level. They never coached at this level. Why don't you get experience being around continental coaches around Michael Carrick, other than Steve Holland, who's playing Southgate football for England? Why don't you do it? So first thing he said, so one step to me, if I was a coach and somebody said about me, oh, I'm a great man manager. So that means that I'm not a tactician. I'm not a good tactical manager. I'm not a good tactical coach. It's almost an insult, because man management, all it is respecting the players, having rules where there's respect that goes both ways. That's all it is. That is what it is. You have to know how to manage a little bit of the egos, 100%. You have to have a level of interpersonal human skills to be able to do that. But if I'm a young coach and somebody said I'm a great man manager, I'm like, yo, you don't rate the things that I put on, the sessions that I put on. You don't rate my tactical acumen. So I find it really sus, people. I find it really suspect. Big up, Luwani. How you doing, bro?
Big up. How you doing?
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I can't hear you, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now. It's good. It's
okay.
Good.
Sorry about that.
So
yeah.
we're just reacting to the Omar Berrada interview. That's what we're reacting to. And the way he's making it out, that Michael Carrick was part of the Ineos' plan or the Glazers' plan, it's the most ludicrous. He called him a good man manager. If I'm a young coach making my way in the game, I don't want to be called. I want to be known, oh, he's tactically sound. He puts on great coaching sessions. He's good with the players. You could say that, but you don't just say he's a good man manager and then don't go and employ, Luwani, coaches that are experienced at this level instead of sticking with Steve Holland.
Good afternoon, Nuruddin. Good afternoon, Therapy Army. Hope everybody is good. I am here today to gaslight you, Nuruddin, because in the absence of Sean, I have to make sure that I pick up the torch. So do not try to put word in Omar Berrada's mouth, though. He never said that Carrick is part of a grand plan that he came across. He just said that there are some attributes that he noticed about him, which we all notice. You know, Carrick took the team from a failing, an underperforming team to achieving top 4. He has to have something. And we all agree that, yeah, if we cannot all agree that he's a tactically astute manager, at least we can agree that he's a good man management, because the players were able to perform to their best, and it's a happy camp right now. So that we cannot take that away from them.
Okay.
From him.
You know that about him. Why don't you go and get him top coaches that have been at this game? The guy who's just left, who was up with Klopp, who just left City. Why don't you got him going then Steve Holland and it'll make me want to watch bullshit Southgate England football? Why? That's a valid question, Luwani. Let me see your answer to that. Big up Lesso. I hope you well, Lesso. Are you there?
Great question, Nuruddin. When it comes to winning, And the way you want to, when it comes to winning, we all agree that the results are factual. But when it comes to the way of winning, it's very subjective. There are a large portion of the United fan base that thinks that we are playing well. Whether you agree, whether me and you agree with them or not, is very subjective. So when you say that you are watching a Woodgate English crap football, some people might disagree with you, and that's probably because we made tough for those kind of that part of the fan base is leaning into the majority, and the majority is what Ineos are listening to. The majority is what Omar Berrada is based on the opinion of that majority and the good vibe that Omar Berrada made the decision, and his team made the decision to keep Carrick as a permanent manager. So you can knock them for that, because so far the result haven't proven otherwise.
No, big up.
Big
Big
up.
up, Luani. Big up Noreddin. Big up to the chat as well. You know, smash the like button, people. Let's
Big
get the
up.
likes
Big up, Leso.
running up.
So but when it come to Omar Berrada and the softball question he was getting from Andy Mitten. Nuruddin, you yourself, you describe Andy Mitten as somebody who's already a turncoat, and we know Omar Berrada know who he's working for. So you combine those two, of course you're going to get a soft interview. You're not expecting Omar Berrada to suddenly start biting the hands that feed him. What do you expect for Andy Mitten? He will ask Omar Berrada, do you hit the Glazers? And then Omar Berrada will start singing Malcolm in the Box or something. No, it's not gonna happen. So I mean, these things, we don't look at these things anymore. We fans need to move past the propaganda, because we know that's the only thing the club has right now to sell. That's the only thing they have to keep the value up. We just have to pray that the product on the pitch, despite the propaganda of the pitch, the product on the pitch is good enough for us to digest. Big up, Leso.
No, big
Leso,
up,
are
big
you
up,
there?
Luani.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm still here. I'm still here.
So talk to me. Talk to us.
No, but you know how it is, man. You know, these guys have to play. They have to play political games. You know, unfortunately, you know that's how corporate works. They're not gonna outright, you know, obviously, like I say, burn their bridges like that. You know, they're still dependent on their bosses in terms of paychecks and everything. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not a fan of Barrada, any of these guys. You know, it's potato head at the end of the day. I've never liked the guy. He should not have the position that he has. I've said this. He should not be occupying the position that he occupies, because he's never been one. You know what I'm saying? He's never had this job before. So, you know, and for him to get a job at this high level, and especially at a club of this size, when he has never occupied that seat before, it's atrocious. But we've been seeing that with with Man United, you know, redeployment and everything. Everyone tends to, you know, get a promotion when they move to Manchester United, and that's what has failed us in the past. But what I will say is that all pressure is away from Carrick now. The pressure now is on Ineos to deliver what they need to deliver. Everyone knows this now. You know, there's no distraction or anything of that sort. Everyone is looking what we're doing now. So they have to act accordingly. They cannot afford to, you know, basically mess this up, especially with the summer window, because I think it's crucial in terms of us reaching, or should I say, fulfilling our obligations, you know, of challenging for league titles again and so forth. And if they actually, you know, get it right with the transfers and in terms of bringing in the rightful players to strengthen the team, we could challenge, because the league is actually quite open. If you actually get the right quality, you're definitely challenging. We've seen that. A lot of teams are vulnerable. They're going through their own transitions themselves. Some of them, the top teams have got new managers. Both Chelsea and Liverpool have new managers. And other teams are going through unknown spells. I mean, with City, we don't know what we're gonna get from them. So, as much as those teams do have, we would say they have a somewhat of a better structure than we do, but I still say that we're within a chance where we can do something. So it's up to these guys. That's what I'm saying. It's no longer on the managers anymore. It's no longer a manager's game now. It's how good your structure is upstairs. That's what we're judging. We're no longer judging individuals now. We're judging people who actually create the whole structure of a winning culture, and and obviously creating sustainability going forward. And does this board have that? You look at the Glazers, they want to sell quickly. Some of them want to sell some of their stakes, and personally for me, that's what I look forward to more than whether we're going to win a league title or anything of that. That's what intrigues me the most out of this entire situation. So let's see how that goes. But I have always had that stand that some of them are going to try and panic and leave because they do not know what's going to happen. They don't know whether Ineos is going to get it right or whatnot. They've seen things pretty much go left, these past years. So for them to be patient, I think they want to move on to something else. I mean, we've seen them trying to go into cricket at one point, trying to buy a cricket team in India. So, that's what I'm saying, that they are exploring other avenues. So it could be a point where some of the family members are saying, you know what, football's not for me. I'm good. We've done what we wanted to do. We basically milked what we wanted to milk out, and we want to try something else. And that's the only way I think Man United's gonna possibly, if it ends up in a worse position. I mean, it is what it is. But as long as these guys are gone, to be honest, we'll see what we can do going forward. But yeah.
No, Nuruddin, I'm sorry, okay? Didn't mean to gaslight you at the beginning, but I do. Where I agree with you is that Omar Berrada can come up and say that yes, the appointment of Carrick was a masterclass. That's not true. They were just winging it, and then they stumbled upon him, and he ended up working. Let's look at the candidate they have at the time. It was either Ole as an interim or Carrick as an interim. If they were so sure that Carrick was the man, they would have made him a permanent appointment, just like De Zerbi was made a permanent appointment, just like the other managers that take position in the league are made permanent, right? Are given permanent contract. The truth is that they didn't trust him enough to give him the permanent job, or he was always a trial. So I'd rather Omar Berrada be honest on this and not try to sell it to us as if they knew what they were doing or they knew what the strength of Carrick were all along. But to be fair to him, he never said that they knew that. He just said that upon the short stint that Carrick had, they noticed his fortes. And what he didn't say though, and what I did not like is appointing a manager of Manchester United shouldn't just be based on the fact that you know the club and you're a good manager. That criteria can get you through the door, but when you sit at the interview table, there should be clearly some level of experience or managerial acumen that they can also look at as a metric and combine it together with your management or your knowledge of the club, your desire to serve the club. yeah, maybe that will work. But if he's saying that they want to go just by the fact that Carrick knows the club in and out and is a good management, we've been down that road before with Ole. Ole was a good babysitter, and Ole knows the club in and out. And we know how this thing always ends because your good management only go as far as the players are happy, and the players' happiness only go as far as the pressure that the press and everybody else on the outside is putting on them. And we know that pressure start piling up with a couple of losses. Right now, we're winning games, so nobody can doubt or nobody can really throw a wolf in the camp. But as soon as we start losing game, it's not wishful thinking, but as soon as we start losing game, let's see how much that management of Carrick is tested, because we're going to strengthen the team. There are some players that will come in and in their own right that will think that they deserve to start, and there are some players that have been here for a long time and their own right that will think that they don't deserve to be on the bench. We're not going to know anything as long as we win it. Everybody will be hunky-dory. But once we start losing game, people will start talking, and that is when we will know if Carrick is really a good management or not. But right now, Omar Berrada can take the easy way out and say, "Hey, you know what? We found a situation we want." I'd rather him be honest and say that the result favor Carrick. We in our rebuild, we choose to stick with him because he has something good going on, and we decide to take the easy way out because that's the less risky decision for us. That's honesty, instead of trying to sell it to us as some kind of master stroke.
Okay, let me just read this. This has come out about 40 minutes ago, however long it was, half an hour ago. Michael Carrick will continue to be assisted by Steve Holland. I don't fucking agree. Jonathan Woodgate. What experience has he got at this level? Johnny Evans has got zero experience. Trevor Bannion is good with youth. He did some good things with it on the 21s and the 18s. And Craig Marston as the goalkeeping coach. But one more additional is considered likely ahead of more intense schedule next season. It's likely to be someone with a set-piece speciality. A return for Andres Georgeson, who's is one possibility with Dane leaving. It's a Dane, leaving Spurs when Thomas Frank got sacked. People. So in the interview, he's basically saying, this is what he's saying in the interview, that Michael Carrick is a good man manager, and I want you to hear it, right?
You have to put the Formula One on right now.
Bear with me, right? I want you to hear it. That's what he's saying, right, in this interview, right? And I want you to be able to hear it. Let me just take it off for a second. Let me just remove so I can get rid of this advert. So my question is, why don't you surround him then with some great coaching staff, ones who have been super successful? Why don't you do that? Is that am I talking out of my ass? Is that a valid question? Let me just get back to it. Let me just hear him out. So 1 second. Let me just play this.
Over, and I think he's earned the right to continue leading the team over the next 2 years or more. But I would describe him as somebody who is very calm, but also very driven, and I'm sure he'll do everything he can, him and his staff, to make sure that we have a successful team this season, next season, and the year after that.
Does he fit into what a Manchester United manager should be, from what you've seen of him so far?
I think when we talk about what a manager should be, I think this club, since Sir Alex left, has seen different profiles of managers, different styles of play, different systems. So the way we look at it is you need the right coach for the squad that you have and what you're trying to achieve over the next years.
Bullshit! I call bullshit. I call bullshit. So thinking a guy who played 5 at the back or 3 at the back in Portugal was that consistent with the squad? And didn't Dan Ashworth tell you that, Omar Berrada? Didn't he tell you that? Didn't you then sack him? Didn't you then sack him for him telling you when the results went bad? When he advised you, listen, West Ham said no, Luani. Liverpool said no to Amorim because they said we don't have a squad that is capable of playing in that system. Do you understand that? Lesso, can you hear me?
No, definitely. I can understand that, man. I mean, we did say that these guys.
So why did he not stop and say, well, Omar, some people would have said the squad that was here when Ten Hag left was not compatible with the way Amorim wanted to play. Why can't he answer that question? Isn't that a fair question?
That's what they got. That's why they got rid of Ashworth, to be honest, Nuruddin, because he actually stated the obvious, you know. And to be honest, these guys don't like someone questioning them out of, you know, basically telling them the truth. That's how they run. They run like a political party, you know. So, you know, everything is political with the Glazers. So, if you're politically right, they don't want you around, and that's why we got rid of our first sporting director. So I'm not even going to, you know, say too much about that one. But we know why Ashworth was fired, because he said the most obvious and logical thing. Man United has never operated on logic, you know, and it's funny because if they actually operated on logic, all of this mess and all this clearing out that they're doing under Ineos, you know, where they're responsible financially, in terms of the way we spend money and in the way we're cutting money, this could have saved us a whole lot of heartache, you know, wastage of finances and all these things that you factor in. You know, it was just based on logic, and fans were saying it. You know, the changes that these guys are making is basically what we've been saying, that they should be most of them they should have been making these changes a long time ago. So that's why I was not praising anything. Honestly, it's just logic. You know, it's like telling someone that you know, all you need is bread in the house, and you go out there and you're like, no, we don't need bread. You know, bread is not food. We're gonna go and buy, you know, a couple of chocolates, and we're gonna add other things, unnecessary things that are not needed, and you overlook the necessity. At the end of the day, you need to eat. You just need to be full and get through the first day. Then you can think about the next day. And then these guys, they just go around and they just waste money. And then at the end of the day, that comes back and hurts you. That means that you're not going to have food. Instead of having food for a whole day, you're not going to have food for the next 3 days or 4 days. So there was just no logical way in how we're doing things. And personally, that's why I even said at some point, I think it was just self-sabotage. In the way we hired people and redeployed people in certain positions where they are not qualified, you know, it just reeked of negligence, you know, at that top high level of the football club. So yeah, man, it's sickening to hear these things, but it's all a political game and a political spin for these guys. Like I said, I'm not gonna trust anything until personally this whole ownership goes. That's where the bucks. Everything else, I'm just enduring it because that's just our new situation at the moment. And you know, you're gonna hear more of the spin already. Unfortunately, they're gonna gaslight you. I'm not even gaslighted.
One thing I'm going to give him a credit. He asked one good question. Let's see how he answered this one.
Michael replaced Ruben Amorim. Was a point in Ruben a mistake?
Injury lawyers for you. When you've had an accident.
I hate these adverts, man. I hate these adverts. Let's see what he says to this. And there's no follow-up. So he
I just want to go back to his first statement. his first statement. I actually like what I heard from him because he seemed to be careful, very careful in using his word. If you notice, he said that Michael Carrick has earned. He used the word earn to take the right to take this team forward, and you cannot knock him for that because most of the time with this company, especially the ones that are engaged in promoting people from the inside, they use that word because if you work from inside the company, and they will promote you based on the service that you made for the company and how well they think they have their own measure by which they promote you. So I understand that in that sense, but we also notice he's speaking um, of Carrick in a conditional sense. He's not speaking in an absolute sense that hey, Carrick will do this, he will do that. We trust him to achieve this or that. He's saying that Carrick has earned the right to take this team forward, and is going to be on a not on a game to game basis, but it's fair for us so far what him and his team has done to see where they can get us, and I don't have any issue with that. The reason why I don't necessarily agree with your statement when you say that okay, if they trust the management of Carrick, why don't they bring in other managers that are competent
Coaches
tactically?
can help him.
Other coaches that are competent to compensate for his tactical, if he's missing something tactically. But the situation is that Carrick didn't get there alone. He has a team around him. So this would depend on Carrick. No matter what they want to do,
No,
it would depend.
club can make the decision. Carrick's not going to walk out of United because they got rid of Holland, they got rid of Woodgate, or they got rid of Evans, who's got no experience at this level. They have
but Nuruddin,
they have zero experience at this level. We're going into a Champions League. What have they got? What have they got? This experience.
But this is what you are saying. You are saying based on your observation. But the reality is that Carrick has a leverage right now. He's sitting on top of some wins, and we made top 4 because of him. So he has the right to say that hey, you know what? If my team and accomplish things with them. Some managers do that. They travel with their whole team, and it's just like that. You have to give him the benefit of the doubt. If you want to keep his team, he gets to keep it. He have earned that right.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I think the club has to step in I'm not saying sack them all. I'm saying give them jobs in some of the different roles, but go and get real experts. That people who have been at this level before, who have coached at this level before, who know about in-game management, who know about reading the game from the bench and seeing if there's something's wrong, who are going to advise him to change certain things. And not Steve Holland. We saw how England played. But let me just get to this answer. 1 second. Big up, Jarvis. I want you to answer this question. So let me just play it.
Mistake. Michael replaced Ruben Amorim. Was a point in Ruben a mistake?
I don't see it as a black or white in the sense that
nobody said to quote Michael Jackson. Yeah. It's why. Yeah. Nobody asked you to do a Michael Jackson tribute. Answer the fucking question.
Yes, because it didn't work out in the end the way we expected it to do. Then, you can look at it in hindsight and say it wasn't the right appointment. But I actually think that
Dan Ashworth told you the answer that you gave. He said you need a coach that's compatible with the squad that you've got. Dan Ashworth, and then you sacked him. And the bootlickers will go, well, Dan Ashworth should get Southgate. No, he didn't. He gave a list of coaches. He didn't just say Southgate. Stop the PR bullshit to try to shit on Dan Ashworth. Because he was the only one that was right and he got the sack. One thing that is true at this football club, if you're right about certain things and you know more than these people, you get the sack because you're not bootlicking Glazer Radcliffe.
Ruben deserves a lot of credit for many things. He went through a very difficult season last year. He was put under difficult circumstances, but he did help raise the standards in the dressing room. So I think he deserves a lot of credit for that, and I do think that he's going to be a successful coach, and I wish him all the best. But we did feel that we need to make a change, and in the end, it's worked out with Michael.
How do you deal with the constant media turbulence around this football club?
I tried to block it out, really.
Bullshit question. The follow-up should have been, Jarvis, the follow-up should have been, you know how you said before about, did you feel the squad that you had was compatible with Amorim? Do you think the squad that you had at Manchester United was compatible the way Amorim wanted to play football? Jarvis, I'd like you to answer that question. Why didn't you do the follow-up? Why there's no follow-up? To ask these questions is right, but where is the follow-up? And where is the way to go? You know what? Actually, this is what the reality is. So can you answer that, please?
Yeah, big up, by the way, guys. You know, this is a good topic, and I watched the interview, but for me, you know, it's not interesting. It's a political, you know, Barrada is so controlled, this vague, and everything he says, his answers are very generic, is polished, all his answers, and you know, he take no self accountability, you know, and Andy Mitten, he never asks him about consequences for their former choices. You know what? You know, he answered it. He mentioned, for example, the Carrick thing. You know, that Carrick had earned the right to continue because after what happened in the turnaround. But you know, we also, the Carrick thing, that Carrick turned things around, also protected Barrada and Wilcox from making a mess before Carrick came in. And Andy Mitten, he just lets them off the hook. He doesn't say anything. You know, he doesn't try to put them accountable for their mistakes. It's all about praising. So it's 100% a PR piece. And you know, as I said, Andy Mitten, I think, is a coward. Omar Berrada is a coward. Wilcox is a coward. They are incompetent. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's a group of weak men just trying to play the corporate game, as I said in my chat. And they are choosing what's expedient, not what's necessary to get the club back. You know, they follow the path of least resistance. They are protecting their own position and their own reputation instead of trying to show leadership when it matters. You know, they did it under Ten Hag, they did it under Amorim, and for me, you know, we as fans, you know, we are dumbfounded, you know, by all these answers, the PR that they spew out for us to accept, and none of us are or Andy Mitten and the journalists are not trying to make the leadership accountable for all their mistakes. They never ask them about their mistakes. There's no consequences for them. And Andy Mitten, you know, I get it. You know, why would he cut off the hand that feeds him? You know, his role is being the inside journalist who's on the outside, who will give the Glazers and Ineos and the guys in suits their back free because it's not a corporate interview. You know, he's supposed to be a freelancer, but he's not. Everybody knows he's bought. He's paid.
Yeah, he's bought. He's on paper, and now he runs the PR for Ineos, but he has to make it seem like he's asking him tough questions. So what is the point if you don't challenge, right? Challenge those questions, right? You don't put and say, you know what, I'll push back against some of the answers, right? And then if you don't push back and then do follow-ups, like what's the point? What's the point? Jarvis,
but that was not a softball question, though.
The news that's come out tonight that they're sticking with the coaching staff. What do you say about that?
Did you ask me?
Yes.
Yeah, to stick. No, he didn't say anything. You know, about sticking with the.
So tonight it's broken now. The news that Manchester Evening News are reporting that they're sticking.
Well, that's old news. We heard this like 3 weeks ago. We knew that they're never going to hire anyone new.
They're saying now that it's been confirmed, and the only guy they're going to get is the It's the Danish, maybe the set piece guy.
Yeah, the Swedish guy, Georgesson, hello, what's his name?
Yeah.
Georgesson. But as I said, they follow the path of least resistance, and they are just protecting their own position. They are not taking any chances. They're not trying to improve us. They're just trying to make business run as usual. You know, stay still, stay out of sight, stay off target, not trying to make a mark of themselves, because they know the scrutiny will come to them, because the consequences of their decision will be be on them. But they don't want that. They want to give it to Carrick, let Carrick continue, and if anything goes wrong, you know what? They can put the blame on Carrick, because it's not on them. So they will stay in their job, they protect their position, but they can throw the manager under the bus when it's convenient. This is how they work, guys. This is corporate. It's we don't have the best guys in charge, and we know that. And they are super happy, you know, running one of the biggest clubs in the world. They are.
You know, I'm trying to see the other side of this. You know, when it comes to appointing coach to help another coach, it's not only in the locker rooms that there are egos between the players. There's also egos on the sideline. That's why most of the modern coach, most of the coach that have pedigree, travel with their own team. They roll with their own people. If you want to hire them, you hire them as a whole. If you don't, some of the coach will not take the job if you don't put their team on a payroll as well. So when it comes to this, we also have to consider that Carrick might have a leverage in the say in if he wants to let his assistant go, because let's be honest, right? The clash of ego is never going to be between the set pitch coach, the technical coach, the physical coach, or the tactical coach. It's always going to be all of those three versus the head coach, because the head coach in some instance is going to have to override the decision of the tactical coach or the physical coach. So at that point, as a head coach, you don't want somebody to be, unless of course you don't have you have very low self-esteem. I'm not saying anything bad about Ole, but unless you don't have an ego of your own, you will never accept the appointment of somebody that is competent enough to challenge you. Because we need to stop looking at coaching as a partnership. Sometimes it's not that. There's always an alpha in the room, and what he says goes. You talk about the club, the Ancelotti. Sometimes they're gonna have to override their assistants. And if Carrick, especially with a job that's as big as Manchester United, maybe he's eager to make his own name. You pair him up with some assistant coach that can take the shine or take the credit, or well, we're talking about men's between themselves here. I know for us it doesn't look like that, but the reality in that locker room is always different.
Luani, what's best for the club, and who makes the decision that what's best for the club? Because it's not Carrick. Mm-hmm. He's not the guy in charge of the club. He's just in charge of the first team, and you know, he's the head coach. That's his role. He's the head coach.
So if I tell you what's best for the club,
they should put pressure, because it's not about Carrick's ego. I don't give a fuck about Carrick's ego. You know, for me,
you asked me what's best for the club, right?
Getting the best guys who can help Carrick and Man United and the first team to become as good as possible and get us back to the top as fast and quick as possible. That's the main objective. And we have weak leaders who are afraid to take charge. Tell Carrick we need better coaches. They are weak. They are not telling Carrick that what's his name, Woodgate has no experience. They are not. They're not saying the same about Johnny Evans. He have no experience. We have the under 21 Bennion coach, the under 21 coach. He has no experience in the Premier League and top level.
But you asked me what's best for the club, right?
Yeah, and the best for the club, and the guys in charge are not doing what's best for the club, because everybody who knows a little bit of football knows it's going to be tough. Next year will be tougher. We will play up to 60 to 70 games this next season if we go through all the tournaments. And we will have to rotate. We won't have the turnaround time to analyze the different teams, to go into tactics, to coach the players for every game and prepare them, and recovery and all of this. You know, things goes much faster next season. This season we had a week and a half, 1 week off, 1 game, 2 weeks off, 1 game. We had a lot of time to prepare for all the games. Next year it will be 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, 3 days. How are you going to make all of this with incompetent people who don't know what they're doing? You don't have time to slip up. You don't have time to learn on the job. You have to make it perfect first time. And the consequences for Carrick and his guys is they are getting the sack if the results not coming. But Adam Wilcox know this. They know this. But they are not taking any responsibility, putting no pressure on Carrick to do anything, because they are saving their own back, because they are cowards. That's how I see it.
I'm just trying to offer a different perspective. You asked me what is best for the club, right? We can agree objectively on what is best for the club, and then we can disagree on how to get there. I'll tell you that what if some of us think that what's best for the club is cohesiveness on the pitch and on the sideline. You don't want to upset the apple cart if you don't have a cohesiveness on the sideline. We know factually that certain managers, especially the managers with pedigree, do not work with people of their own choosing. It's very rare to have the board that choose managers unless they don't rate you in that case. So obviously they rate him. Right now he has a certain leverage. That's what I'm saying. That's why they are allowing him to keep his coaching staff. So until the results start going against, we can't really debate that, because he got there with them. That's the only thing I'm trying to say.
But now we're going to have to play 3 games a week. You're going to have to manage 3 games a week. You're going to play Champions League. You're playing like Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday again. You're playing that type of football. Then we're not going to be knocked out. Well, I hope we're not. We're not going to be knocked out first round of the League Cup and then the FA Cup. You've got to have a squad that can help you manage all of those things. And there are the people available. As Jarvis said, those people are available. It's not like we can't find people. City just sacked the guy. Sorry, not sacked, but he just left City. He worked with Klopp. Then Pep got him. Why did Pep get him? Because he's got an amazing reputation. Why can't we get him? Why do we have Steve Holland?
But you guys really think?
Why do I have to set up Jonathan Woodgate?
Okay. You guys really think Pep Linders?
And Johnny Evans, who just recently retired.
You guys really think Pep Linders want to be number 2 for Carrick? I would like to see his face when he's being given that position. Maybe Pep Linders want to be a number 1 in his own right. Maybe he thinks it's time for him. That doesn't mean that he doesn't want to try again. Some people are just not content of failing and saying that they want to be number 2 all the time.
That's not actually the thing that we are trying to be talking about. We are talking about keeping the guys or trying to get better coaches with more experience. That's Pep Linders is just a suggestion. That's a guy who's available. He's out of contract. He's on a free. You only have to send him a call him and ask him if he wants to try to be Carrick's assistant, and give him a wage, a weekly wage. That's how it's done. But again, there are other guys out there with more experience. We have people in the Man United hierarchy. Ex-players, people who've been around. We have people like Martin O'Neill, as I said. For an old guy who's been around for years. There are guys out there who knows how to deal with the Premier League, and I don't trust Johnny Evans. I don't trust Woodgate. I don't trust the under-21 coach, because they have no experience. That's the problem. You don't need experience if everything goes well.
Pep Guardiola came. He got Brian Kidd. Why? Because Brian Kidd has worked with Fergie for how many years? He knows everything to know about Premier League football. He brings him to be his number 2. And then, as the years go on, he scouts other coaches and brings them in. Exactly, that's what Jarvis is talking about. Sorry, Jarvis,
Yeah,
carry on.
yeah, but my point is actually, when things goes well, as it's done now for the last since January, you're not really challenged. But I'm waiting for when we come into a downslope. Let's say we lose 3-4 games, the pressure is on. How will these guys react? Do they know how to get themselves out of a squeeze, for example? That's really important. How do you manage to motivate players? Let's say we sign 6-7 new players. 3 of them are really big players with big names coming in with big egos. Do you know how to handle those guys in the locker room? Do you know how to make the best out of them? Ancelotti, he was a master of this, man management, getting the best out of big names. So again, being an interim is one thing. The players know he's the substitute teacher, and he comes in. Okay, let's just do this, do this for the group, for the fans, and all of this. But when it's every day, you meet Carrick every day. Do we have the competence? We have the competence to inspire these players, to get them to improve and be better every day. I don't know, and especially when things starts going against us, I'm not sure. And that's why I want more players, more managers, coaches who knows what they're doing. We saw this under Amorim too. He won every game for 2 seasons with Sporting. Well, we took all his coaches to Manchester, and when things started going wrong, they were like deer in the headlight. They didn't know what to do. They couldn't turn it around.
So your argument is that if he have more experienced coach with him, he will navigate rough waters a little better. They will help him steady up the ship.
If you've been on a ship, if you cross the Atlantic once, you know how to do it. That's the thing.
But is that always a guarantee though? Because we've seen throughout the league, throughout history,
nothing is a guarantee.
It's not okay.
But
so if it's not a guarantee, we cannot say it as a statement of fact. So what we know is that the team he currently have, until we can predict that things can go wrong, the team that he currently have is doing well with him. So if they pick to keep him and his team, we cannot knock them. We have to look at the other side of the argument. Maybe there's a certain level of harmony between him and his team that they're trying to preserve. Every time they talk about Carrick as a solo act, let's not forget they're talking about him and his team together as with the job that they accomplish as a whole. So maybe that's where they're coming from. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you make a good point, but I'm worried. That's just what I am. I see people are saying I'm negative, but I'm not trying to be negative. I'm super worried about what's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's
welcome
where I
to
am.
the club, Jarvis. Welcome to the negative club. I'm the chairman and CEO. Founder. What do you think to that? Should they have at least helped him out with better coaches? Because Woodgate and I'm sorry, Woodgate and what's his name, Evans are not it, and neither is Holland. We saw the football that they played. That Holland played.
Definitely. That is the most common sense thing to do, but like I said, we don't have a board that makes common sense decisions. And in this case, I always try and find a positive, something positive out of this. But when you just look at how everything has been done, man, I mean, you just can't help, and see, or you just can't help to have this feeling that it's all just gonna come crashing down eventually, because it's still done poorly. They're building on a base where there's just too many discrepancies, and there's just not a strong enough foundation for me to get behind whatever we're doing long term, because there's just no long term plan. I hear with the Carrick thing that he's an abnormality type of thing where it's like they discovered him along the way. Maybe he was just not part of the plan. Obviously he wasn't, but he just overperformed, and they didn't expect that. But when I look at what they say and what they do are two different things. Especially with Barrada, you know, in the interview, you know, there's a lot of things that you can see that, you know, he's just saying things on the spot. He's trying to protect himself. And it's all political, because at the end of the day, what people don't realize, all of these guys they all want the piece of the pie. I said it. Anyone who is involved with Manchester United at the moment, they just there for the financial gain. It's not about you know, how well the club does on the pitch. And what they don't realize is that fundamentally, that's what's feeding them. It's the history that this club was built on, and our historical success is the reason why these guys, you know, they're all benefiting today, you know. And if you actually have and focus a lot on that success on the pitch and ensuring that the club is sustainable going forward, you're actually going to eat a lot more than what you're right now currently trying to, you know, trying to gather, you know, and benefit financially. This is what I don't get with a lot of capitalists, because it's kind of stupid in a way, where you don't realize that if you actually do something correctly, you'll actually benefit more. You actually eat more, you know, essentially, you know, enjoy the fruits of the labor, as opposed to trying to actually just try and get bits and bits and bits and bits, as much as everything, until there's nothing left. For me, it screams of laziness, lack of planning, lack of you know, strategical and future projections. Because I mean, there's no way you're telling me these guys they're that insanely stupid. You know. By the way, shout out to Jarvis. I see he grew his hair as well. You know,
No, I haven't had time to go to the hairdresser. Sorry.
So
And I'm being,
yeah,
I'm
man. I mean,
wearing a cap all day.
He's going for the Beach Boy look. The Beach Boy. Serve
Serves up, dude.
Yeah.
shout out to Jarvis.
You know, guys. I'll be honest. I'll be honest, right? I'll be honest with you guys, right? Yeah.
Only 1 second. Listen, we need 20 more likes. And I just want to remind people, big up The Rock. And big up Andrew, by the way, for presses. Happy birthday for yesterday. I hope you had a wonderful birthday, Andrew. You know, he comes on the channel sometimes. He's always in the chat. Big up to our brother, Andrew.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, Viper Paralysis. I can never say the rest of the name yet. So he's saying to Viper Paralysis. So this is it. Amarim, so he said he was sacked because he wasn't happy working on the World Cups. He wanted midfielders and wasn't being backed in January. World Cup kept interfering, and Amarim didn't like being micromanaged. But that's why he was sacked. So why didn't Andy Mitten ask him that question? Did Jason and Amarim fall out? What was the problem with Amarim? Did he ask for players in January?
That's a tough question to answer.
Nothing. Listen, we're going to move on to the next one, people. But
before we move on, I just want to show you this. I just need to bring this up. This came out a couple of weeks ago, but it's still valid. It's just on this debate. It's this one. I just want to remind you what Patrick Dorgu said on Michael Carrick. And you know, I think this is such a good comment. It tells you about the state. Dorgu says he just wants us to play free, enjoy the game and play for the badge. It's really good. He has a lot of good ideas and we're all trying to execute. We are all excited for next season. He just wants us to play free, enjoy the game and play for the badge. Those three sentences, it takes me back, you know, it takes me back a couple of years when we had Ollie. Everybody was talking about free flowing, just enjoy yourself, you know. Individual brilliance. I see all the what's going to happen when we start losing games, or when they're not happy about Carrick anymore. You know, the guys who's not picked to start every game because we have a bigger squad. You will have internal unrest because guys want to play. they don't get their bonuses.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm in the same predicament as you guys. I know exactly what's going to happen next season. The only difference is that I've already prepared myself mentally for it. So I'm now going to make a big deal about it. I think that the Premier League has improved. Okay, the Premier League has improved drastically to the point that we don't have the consistency to compete yet. So this season that we've been through, the fact that we finished in top 4 might be an aberration. It might be the fact that this is as far as Carrick's man management can take us. There is another side to this, and that's the side we will see next season. And it's not going to be half the season, it's going to be a whole season. And whole season are always made of ebbs and flow. Like Jarvis said, when things start going haywire, that's when the manager and his staff are tested. That's when the players and their good vibes are tested. Let's see how many of them will stand behind the manager and play for him. And let's see how many of them will be walking around. They won't give in into the 50-50s, and they will be they won't sprint. They won't put in a hard sprint. We've seen that before. We've seen that with the Garnacho, the Rashford, and Ole. We've seen that. So let's wait and see.
Yeah.
It's simple. People, we're gonna move on to the next topic. Big up to everybody who joined us. Please smash the last, get to 100 likes. I asked the question, do you buy into Omar Berrada PR interview? Smashed. And 60% of you have said yes. And 40% of you, 60% of you have said, 40% of you have said yes, you buy into it. 60% of you have said no. And it's 89 votes. So there are more votes on that poll than there are of likes on the video. It's the same thing, liking the video and voting on the poll. So the least you could do is like the video. The next thing that I just want to quickly move on to, there's more things in our interview, but I might want to jump out on my balcony. I'll be so angry at some of the answers and the BS that's come out of that interview. So we're gonna chill that out for a minute. Just to say that there was some news on Bloomberg the other night when we were live. Actually, it came through, and there isn't anything. Some of the Glazers might want to sell. That's what we heard. Some of the family members might want to sell. That's what we heard, right? And that is the only thing that we're hearing. Some of the Glazers might want to sell, but for me, it just looks like some of them want investment. That's all. But the big thing that what people don't understand is that Ineos are £18 billion in debt. I repeat for the people at the back. It is for the combined borrowing and major utilities, like the group holdings, like they have, like the Ineos Quattro, and there's a couple of others. So they've got like Ineos Quattro, Ineos Sport, and then Ineos something else. And obviously they're a chemical club. Sorry, they're a chemical company, and they've made balls of it. So one of their company in the UK had to be rescued. A steel company had to be rescued, if I'm not mistaken. So this idea that Ineos are going to be able to buy, and successfully Ratcliffe's going to buy the Glazers out, I don't see it for this moment in time. He's lost apparently 8 billion in terms of what he's worth himself. That's where we're at with Ineos. So we got a broke-ass billionaire, and then we got stingy effers who don't want to ever put $5 of their own money to help the football club. That's what we're dealing with. The other big thing that in terms of the transfer, Jarvis, I don't know if you've seen anything today, but the breaking news is that Mateus Fernandes has been linked with Paris Saint-Germain, and there are rumors that he's also been linked with Jose Mourinho and Real Madrid. And I'm sorry to say, he might have been in Manchester for a 15-20 days ago, meeting with United representatives. But if Real Madrid keep calling, he's going to choose Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
Jarvis and then Lesso, and then go ahead.
Yeah, it's a big one. As I said, the latest I read about the valuation is that West Ham stands on their valuation 80 millions for Matheus Fernandes. Man United sees him as a 60 million player. So, if West Ham don't make any changes about their valuation, we will never sign Matheus Fernandes, because I don't think we will overpay. I don't even know if we have 80 millions available for a player like Matheus Fernandes. And for me, I think the price should be somewhere in between 50 plus 10 or 55 plus 5 million pounds. That's his valuation. That's what it's worth. He has only had one season in the Premier League, and he have performed well this season. But again, only one season, and he got relegated with West Ham. So again, he's probably not been consistent for every game West Ham has played this season. So again, I can't see us paying 80 million for him. That will be madness. It's ludicrous to pay so big of a fee for a player that's relegated. If PSG comes in, okay, that's okay. I don't want him. If he wants to go to PSG, that's okay. If he wants to go to Real Madrid, that's okay. I want players who want to come to Man United, who wants to play for Man United. And, if it's only after the glory, he can go to Real Madrid or PSG. That's fine. And also it comes to West Ham, 80 million. That's a joke. So again, let's see what happens. It's still early in the window. I think we are shifting away from Matheus Fernandes towards Alex Scott. I think Alex Scott, we will hear more from him. He's a backup now for the England World Cup squad. So I think he's in the US training with the backup guys for the squad in case of injuries. So there won't be any talks with Alex Scott probably until after the World Cup. So we will know more in time if this Matheus Fernandes link goes away. So that's just how I see it. But, I wouldn't be crying if we get a player like Alex Scott either. The only problem with Alex Scott is he's been linked to Liverpool now because of Andoni Iraola, as we all know. His former coach is now the Liverpool manager, and I also believe that Liverpool will need a new midfielder. We know they have been linked to Adam Wharton several times, and he's been the strongest link to Liverpool. But now when we have Andoni Iraola in the door of Anfield, maybe they will shift their focus from Adam Wharton to Alex Scott. And then again, the table turns, and suddenly I think Man United will become into Adam Wharton, because Liverpool are suddenly not into him anymore, and Matheus Fernandes is occupied, and the same goes for Alex Scott. So this is why I think we cast a wide net. We talk with a lot of players, because everything can happen in a transfer window, and it's very unpredictable. So that's just how I see maybe this play itself out. Yeah. Oh, you're on mute, Nuruddin.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting, but I don't see it. I think Manchester United are slow again, super slow in terms of who they're dealing with, the way they move on a transfer. I think that Matheus now, first of all, West Ham want 80 million. They need to, like I said, they need to lay off the crap. They need to go on a walk. They need to go on a hike. They need to get fresh air and then sober up and then realize that they're relegated. They're not getting 80 million for him. They'll ruin him like they did with Matheus, with Pauletta, what they did to Pauletta, caging Pauletta. And they have to learn from what's happened with
Paqueta,
yeah, at Brighton. But I think Alex Scott, the only thing that makes me Jarvis is what we discussed before. We're both unsure if it's the Iraola system that makes these players look that good. And the other thing is the fact that he's had severe knee injuries. And I'm always worried when young players who get really bad knee injuries early on in their career. Especially the way he runs around and moves around the pitch. I'm just concerned.
Yeah, but the thing with Alex Scott, there have been links, people have been mentioning that Alex Scott has strong relationships to Wilcox and the hierarchy at Man United, because they are familiar with his family. His sister is club captain for Man United women's team, Leticia, or his stepsister. Yeah. So again, there are links to Man United when it comes to Alex Scott, but I think the link to Andoni Iraola is even stronger. So I fear that Liverpool will come in for him. So again, I think the focus will be shift over to Adam Wharton. And I wouldn't cry if you get a player like Adam Wharton. Okay, he don't have the intensity as Matheus Fernandes and Alex Scott, but he do have the passing abilities, and maybe we could be able to pass ourselves out a little bit deeper on the pitch. So yeah, I would also like that, because Mainu doesn't have the passing ability, and I'm not sure when it comes to Ederson. So I actually think a player like Alex Scott could also make us less reliant on Bruno. And sometimes when we struggle, you see Bruno going on a mad one and dropping down all the time. He wants to be everywhere. He wants to be involved on the ball and progress the ball. But if you have a deeper playmaker like Adam Wharton, I think he could actually do a really good job and also make us less reliant on Bruno Fernandes. And I think that's a good thing, looking at what's coming the next couple of seasons, because Bruno, he will drop off a little bit, okay, maybe not next season, but in 2 years, 3 years time. So we got to learn to play without Bruno in the team also. So yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? Oh, sorry, Luani's back in. Sorry, Luani.
Oh, Luani's coming.
Yeah. Matheus and Alex Scott, how do you feel about that? And then we'll go to Leicester.
Matheus Fernandes was the most complete midfielder out of all the names that were being thrown out there. But that's why he joined the last week discussion of Marquis signing and the idea behind it. And the counter argument was if the players want to come to us or not. We add all this together now. It looked like he doesn't want to come here. He want to go to PSG. We should just let this go. The problems that we have in this team are bigger than one player, no matter how good they are. So it's not even about the fact that he wants to come to us or not. If the price ain't right, the price ain't right. We're not going to overpay for the position. We're not going to overpay for the projection of the player, because he's still coming from West Ham, play with pressure free in a relegation team. So we're not going to overpay for potential. We're not going to overpay for certainly for position. But the issue that we have here is that some of our fan base might look at that and say that, you see, this is another player that we're not able to convince because our structure is not a good structure. Maybe that's a good point. Maybe he just looked at our structure and decide that the wind is favorable somewhere else. But I prefer Alex Scott personally, because Alex Scott is a good passer of the ball, and I think if you get the right combination, maybe with Alex Scott or Kobe Mino, Baleba, or Alex Scott, Kobe Mino, or Ederson, is still a balanced midfield. We're not going to cry over that. The reason for that is that we have other issues in the team that we have to address. You see, the conversation around the midfield has ramped up so much that we forget that our fullbacks are ridiculously bad. Luke Shaw and Gallo, if that's what we're going to make the title charge with next year, I think, we need to rethink our priorities a little bit as a team. So, Alex Scott, for me, that's fine. If he buys into the project, bring him in. If Matheus Fernandes say no, then goodbye then.
One thing I would say about Matheus Fernandes, I saw my friend, who is not somebody who's chatting Macca, somebody who I trust when they tell me stuff. He said he saw him and his agent in Manchester about 15, 20 days ago. And then Simon Stone of the BBC said that he will be shocked and surprised if Matheus Fernandes doesn't sign for Manchester United. He put that tweet out about a couple of weeks ago, Jarvis. I don't know if you saw it. Not a couple of days ago, about 4 or 5 days ago. He put that tweet out. I don't know if you saw it. And
okay.
There are a little bit of news. What Jarvis
guys, my excuses. There are some guys that are waiting on me.
Guys. Love, man.
Where are you? Where are you?
Oh, I'm in the mountains in Saranac Lake, New York. It's right next to Lake Placid.
Okay, and you going home or are you taking something somewhere else?
I'm taking a load of mattresses to a furniture store, and then from there I'll go home.
Luwani,
okay.
top man, safe journey. Drive carefully.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bro.
Safe journey,
Peace out.
man.
Thanks. Peace.
Peace, man.
What do you think about Mateus Fernandez as a player, Lesso?
Yeah, man. I actually quite do like like him as a player, and I think he does have quite a good and high ceiling. And there's a lot of aspects of his game where he can easily, personally, I think he will improve and he'll only get better. The only thing that I'd agree with Jarvis on with regards to him, if he is not certain on moving to Manchester United and is fixated somewhere else, I wouldn't personally want him there either. We should be trying to get players who want to be here at all costs.
Yeah, but Lesso sometimes remember Roy Keane. Roy Keane was nearly signing for Blackburn. You have to persuade players. Not every player is born to go and want to play for Manchester United. Some of the players, you have to impress them with a project and the plans that you have. And you have to sell the project to them. You can't always. Roy Keane was going to sign for Blackburn. Dimitri Berbatov was going to sign for Man City. Van Persie was wanted by Man City. We forget that Fergie got hold of them and said, "No, come over here." So you have to be so sure of your project, right? That what your plans are, that players are going to go, you know what? I can see myself improving and I can see myself being successful with that football club.
No, I hear that. And definitely, I mean, you're not going to only have one option. But to be honest, I'm not going to pay 80 million, to be honest, for him. If that's what it's going to take for us to pay, because that's ridiculous. I don't see any other club. Yeah, I personally think that's just media talk, to be honest. I don't think anyone's going to pay 80 million for that. It's ridiculous, to be honest. But he's a player I like. And I would also try and get him. When we were first linked with him, that's when I realized that actually, we have to give a bit credit to the scouting team a bit. That they're actually looking at proper players for a change. Unlike the draws that we're linked with in previous years, to be honest. Yeah, man. I'm a fan of his work. I've watched a couple of West Ham games. And people will always talk about how how he's involved with teams that are getting relegated. It can happen to anyone. It does not take away the individual qualities that a player adds to your team. And his qualities are more or less, I feel like they're more they more or less, match up with what we need in midfield. So how on earth wouldn't I want a player of that stature coming into Manchester, into our midfield? It's a huge upgrade, and an upgrade that turns out to be where he could be world class, in a couple of years' time. So why not? And it's not a fact that we're just buying him for the sake of just buying him. We're buying him with the fact that we will have depth. And there's an actual plan and how we're going to integrate these players into the first team and then into the future beyond the current time. So for me, I want him. I also like Alex Scott. I mean, Alex Scott reminds me a bit of Grealish in the way that he plays and he carries the ball. So
he used to be a winger, by the way.
Yeah, no
Alex
surprises there. No surprises there, because in the way that he plays,
he's a dribbler and a carrier.
Very good.
Yeah.
He's a very good ball carrier. And the way he just glides with the ball. That's the type of, to be honest, that's my type of midfielder. That's the type of midfielder I liked. When we missed out on Grealish, I actually I was actually quite sad, to be honest. I wanted a player of that, quality in terms of the midfield, and and he's also versatile, like I say, like Jarvis even stated. So he does fit the model. I feel like he's a quality player. He's got a bit of Grealish in him and a little bit of Gleb. I don't know if people remember Gleb from Arsenal. He's got that bit. He's got those type of qualities on both of those sides. So he's a player that I actually like. I know Nuruddin, they used to laugh at you when you said you wanted him on the Mendham show. I actually quite fancied him myself as one of the targets that we should be looking at, in terms of the quality and the way he's also press resistant, and he can get out of very tight situations. Very direct, good ball carrier, very hard to stop especially when he's running with the ball at his feet. You have to foul him. And yeah, I mean, he's one of the ones I'm looking at, to be honest. But let's just see what these guys do. To be honest, it's very easy to talk about a lot of players, and then these guys end up not signing any of these guys. Then we're back here again, complaining and basically throwing our toys out of the Prem again. So I'm hoping that we do get any of these quality players through the door, man, and we don't end up in a situation where we screaming, for the ownership to leave, and and that's it. That's all we have. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Big up, Ben. I hope you're well, Ben. How you doing?
Big up, guys. Big up, Lesso. Big up, Jarvis. Big up, Norden. Big up the chat, man. Yeah, I'm good, man. Just played my final game of the season and final game for the club.
Emotional for your old team.
Yeah, bro. I mean, big up to them, man. They made me captain for the last game, so that was brilliant, man. So that was my first. That's my first game in football as a captain, and I can't lie, I liked it. I felt a wee bit of Roy Keane in me when I was going up to the ref, roaring at the ref. But yeah, man, I felt good, bro. But played well. We won the game, and it's always great to leave, especially leave the club on a high as well, like on a win. So yeah, man, finished 6th in the table overall out of 18 teams. So we're still there. We're 3 points off promotion, and sadly we didn't get it, man. But look, it is
Europa
what it is,
League,
man.
Europa League next season, then. That's
No, I'm still
We play good. Sometimes we play bad. Moments we play bad, good. Sometimes we play bad.
Oh my!
That is Ben.
Oh my god, man. Yeah, man. Look, some days we play good, some days we play bad, as he says. But yeah, man. Look, big up to the club, man. Honestly, respect to them. Obviously, they were when we walked back to the changing rooms. They were all like, they lined up in a row in a way, like like clapping and stuff, like a wee bit like an honor, like sort of thing. And yeah, man. Honestly, respect to every single one of them teammates, man. They've just shown nothing but support for me, man, and they're also happy for me as well, bro. And yeah, next club, man. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, the next medical, the medical won't fail again. I have to wait for 2 months until August, and yeah. So look, but I'm up there. They said I can train with them in the preseason, like for individual training and stuff, but I won't be allowed to like train with the actual team because that would go against like
club rules.
Yeah,
rules.
the rules of the whole football league and shit. So yeah, so look, big up to them, man, for obviously allowing me to
And how are you feeling? So if you were to do your medical again today, do you think you will pass?
Well, Nerden, I was completely shocked that I failed, man. Obviously, I'm asthmatic, and apparently, like that's one of the reasons why I failed my medical, which is crazy. And you know what's crazy, man? Like my asthma is actually bad at all. Like in these last 10 years, 15 years when I've had it, like it's never been as bad like as it was
You
when I
have
was
the
a
blue
kid.
one or the brown one, inhaler?
Both. But I never take it though, Nerdin. Like I've never taken a football game. The only time I ever took it was when I was 6 years of age, and that was when I was a kid, man. But it's just very, very strange, man. Look, even the doctor said, sometimes these things can happen. Like, you know, there's people who have diabetes, who are obesity as well, and they sometimes feel with their medicals. It just all depends on the day and, like, you know, technology and all that shit these days. But look, we'll fingers crossed that it goes well next in August, man. But yeah, man, look, big step up for me, man. Obviously 2 divisions higher than the club I'm at the moment, and then I've got another four or 5 more leagues to get to the pro level, which is, like, you know, if anyone wants to know, Larne Football Club, Cliftonville, Linfield, Derry City, you know, obviously the players, like, if anyone knows in the past, James McLean, you know, all you know, I'm not gonna get into that player, like, but if anyone knows their Irish players, feel free to comment in the comments, man. Cal Laverty, former West Brom player. And yeah, man, look, you know, it's a long way to go, man. Like, I'm not like, I know instantly, like, you know, I won't get there, but, you know, even though people are gonna say don't put yourself down, like, but I just think it's a different kettle of fish, you know, to get to that division, man. And I'm just really grateful to where, you know, to be able to actually get up to that division where I am right now. And like I said, man, like I said to my club as well, if I feel like I'm struggling in that division or league, or if I'm just not at it at all, then they said they'll welcome me back to the club, man. And that's what
Nice.
I love about football, man. Like, you know, especially, it's just all about love, man. And, you know, the fact that they've shown me so much support, man. And if I struggle, then I could just go strolling back into the club, man. But I don't want to have that in my head, bro. I want to get straight down, work as hard as I can, get to the gym, and yeah, just take it on from there, man. But yeah, big up, man. And it was a great night, to say. My missus was there as well, supporting me, and she was delighted that it was all a shock, bro. It was like a surprise that I was captain tonight. I've never been, and I never really have seen myself as a captain, because I feel like, you know, even though I feel like I'm a very good leader in terms of, like as a player in general. Like, I want to help the whole team. I want to, like, you know, help each other out and stuff. But I never really see myself as a captain. But I can't lie, bro. It was good, man. It was good tonight. And big up to the opposition team as well. Like, they all got told that it's this guy's last. But I kept saying kid, and I said, I'm not a fucking kid. So, but yeah, look, it is what it is, man. But some of them are in their 30s, some of them are in their 40s, like. But yeah, man, but big up, man. Honestly, it's all love, bro. And
yeah, Ben, we're talking about Manchester United. Some fans are saying the transfer is falling apart. Tonali's linked with Arsenal. Fernandez is linked with Real Madrid and PSG, who are at this moment in time better football club, well-run, better football clubs than us. And Real Madrid always get their players if they want a player. So what do you think? Do you think that transfer can be done with Mateus Fernandez?
I mean, I can't lie, bro. When I seen the Tonali news, obviously being linked to Arsenal, and then Anderson being linked to City,
and Tonali's linked to City also.
I know, I seen that as well.
Yeah.
And honestly, bro, I mean, everyone knows my opinion on Tonali. I love this guy. He's literally the ideal midfielder alongside Anderson that we need. That we've been missing for so many years. And even though Ederson has been somewhat a decent signing, I'm really looking forward to seeing Ederson in action. But Fernandez, I mean, the one thing we've been good at is we've done well in terms of players that, you know, for the fact that Cunha he really wanted to come to Man United, because obviously we've seen the videos years ago, Cunha talking about Man United is the team I support. I grew up watching Man United, like, it's the team I always wanted to play for. And all of a sudden he's at Man United, and Buemo's a Man United fan, Sesko's a Man United fan. So we've literally done well in terms of that case. And with Fernandez, obviously, Fernandez is also a Man United fan. So, I mean, if you come up against Real Madrid, that's a different kettle of fish. Like, I think it's going to be difficult to encourage him, but same time, you know, it's what he wants, and I do think he wants to come to Man United. I do think that. Now, do I trust or do I have any belief that we'll get them? No, I don't trust Wilcox. I don't trust Vivell at all, man. Like I said, I've listened to the stream at times. I watched the Omar Berrada, Mr. Potato Head interview with Mr. Andy Glazer Mitten Ratcliffe in a way, because that guy's all over the show, man. Next minute he's hating Glazers and Ratcliffe. Next minute he's loving them. I just don't know, man. I don't know what Ineos' plan is these days, bro. People are getting way too giddy about saying that Ederson's the third midfielder. I don't know where we're going to sign 3 midfielders. I just don't know these days, man. I just don't know what path we're going to be taking. But do I want Fernandes? Yeah, I like him. I've always rated Fernandes. He'd be sort of in the tier list of Fernandes, Wharton, Baleba, them types of players. Like I like that. Fernandes would be my tier 2 list, and I'm all for Fernandes coming, man. I like I think Lesso, you said he reminds you of a wee bit like Grealish. I think you're spot on, Lesso. That's a really, really good choice there, because the one thing I love about Fernandes is on the half turn, he's such an incredible footballer, man. Like, he just plays that ball on the half turn so well, man. And we need someone like that, man, because we don't have, well, apart from Kobe Mino, and obviously we had Nemanja Matic back in the day that could play the ball on the half turn so well. We just need players like this, and yeah, that's just my take on Fernandes, bro. But I mean, I heard we've been linked to Alex Scott. Nerd knows I absolutely adore Alex Scott. Love Alex Scott so much, man. My issue is with Alex Scott is his injuries. I don't really like signing players who are injured a lot. Now, what I did look up Alex Scott's last injury, which was the ACL. He did get injured last season, like the previous season before that. So he's played a whole season without having any issues with that ACL. But like I said, an ACL can come back at any stage, man. Like, one of my teammates had an ACL, and he didn't get injured for a season and a half, and then all of a sudden it came back at him. So everyone's different. We're all different human beings. Everyone's body reacts differently. His body can literally react just like that if he comes to Man United after 3 or 4 games, especially with Carrick's intense training these days, because we have found out that Michael Carrick's training is a lot more intense, and he doesn't actually give them many. Well, he does give them a lot of breaks compared to Ruben Amorim, but the thing is, Ruben Amorim's, it was less intense, but it was just more training days. Like, but honestly, I'm all for Alex Scott. I'm all for Fernandes. I'm gutted that Anderson and Tonali is sitting there, and obviously they're waiting to go to Arsenal or City. I just wish that we could just go in there and snatch them off them. But like I said, I'm all here for the club and what the club want to do. If they say they have a plan, then go and produce a plan, because all I've been hearing in the last few seasons is Ruben Amorim was our guy. We have a plan. Ruben Amorim was our guy. We have our plan. Dan Ashworth, he knows the club. He knows how to recruit well. They go and sack him. They go and sack Ruben Amorim. I don't know what path we're going on. Like, they say that Carrick's our guy, but he wasn't, because they looked at Areola, like all these other coaches, and let's just see, man. Let's just wait and see. As Nerdin says, let's wait and see FC, bro. But I'm all for Fernandes coming, bro. I do like Fernandes a lot, man. I do.
Yeah, big up.
Did you speak in the interview, Nerdin? The Barrada?
Oh yeah, we went through it. You're gonna have to watch it back.
Yeah. It's just a load of waffle. That's a load of waffle from me.
Absolutely.
That's my 2 pence.
I just put a poll out there first. I said, if the Glazers gonna sell. A lot of you didn't believe the Glazers are not gonna sell. So I asked, how much are you willing to pay for Fernandes? And I put 50 million, 19%, 55 million, 25%, 65 million, 44%, 80 million, 12%.
He'd be about 55, I would say, for me.
Yeah. So 65 is what we're looking at. Some people are saying 60 and then 5 million.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm going to ask you guys the question. And I'll start with Lesso. Do you think our centre back, can I just put this idea to you lot? Delay, we don't know how he's going to come back from that injury. Martinez. So majority of the World Cup stadiums are American football stadium. American majority of those stadiums are concrete. They don't have. They don't have. A lot of them don't have like 6 or 7, you know, or like 3 or 4 foot of like grass all the way going down. I've seen a lot of stadiums where they just put in grass on top with hard concrete. Martinez is injury prone. Harry Maguire has his fair share of injuries. So the only 2 centre halves that we've got. Oh, actually, Euro has had his fair share of injuries. Aiden Heaven has his fair share of injuries. Can Manchester United afford not to sign a centre back this season?
Just before you come in there, Lesso, remember, guys, just a question to Ollie is, do you remember, I think it was Ten Hag, that tour in America? Do you remember we played in the Sci-Fi Stadium in America? And who got injured? Lenny Euro and Rasmus Højlund and Kobe Mino. Them 3 there, they got injured and they were out for a long, long time. So yeah, you're spot on there. But carry on there. Go ahead, Lesso. I'll let you come in.
Sorry, I didn't quite get that.
Well, basically, the question is, we've got injury prone. All our centre halves have been injured. The young ones, the old ones. Delay is had a back surgery. We don't know if he can come back from a back surgery. So I was saying that, can we go without signing a centre back?
No.
This summer window.
No.
Not sign a centre back.
No and no and no. And I've actually been worried about us you know, running the risk of where we don't end up signing one centre back. Which is a priority for me. It is one of the priorities because, you know, we've seen with the previous season. I mean, with De Ligt, he's always been in and out of the medical room, so you can't rely on that. I'm sorry. Like, Martinez is another one. He hasn't changed the way he plays. So he's gonna pretty much get those contact injuries a lot. So we have to try and get at least one centre back. It has that has to be one of the high priorities. You know, aside from the midfield, you know, you cannot afford to go into a season when you do not have reliable centre backs. And we have to also, going forward, I think we have to solve this thing. You know, I know we won't solve it now because obviously the midfield has been, has degenerated over the years, where we've never really, solved it. You know, and it has gone back all the way to the times where Sir Alex was here. So, we have to, strengthen the center back side, because I personally believe that we've also kind of let it go to a certain extent. So I think long term we do need to ensure that we do have reliable center backs where we can build partnerships. You know, teams that win league titles, they always have that sustainable center back pairings or partnerships. They develop partnerships where they have mainstay center backs that they rely on. We haven't had that for quite some time, I think, and you have to that has to be a fundamental if you're trying to win league titles. So I think we can start this summer with at least one where the injury record is we need to look at someone who's not injured, who's not out that much, and from there you try and get more people. Maybe get another one or two if the others don't kick on. Whereas you try and build partnerships and solid partnerships where we can rotate and also get some mainstay center back pairings where and that's how you build and going forward. the goalkeeping situation is not bad. I still think we need obviously a backup. But besides that, I think if we can strengthen the centre backs and we strengthen the fullbacks, fullbacks can be obviously assist in the attacking areas. If you can have fullbacks who can actually push up higher and be in support of the attacking players, we still don't have that reliable fullbacks, quality fullbacks, where we can say these guys are gonna be up there. But I see with Lewis Hall and all these guys that we linked with, we do realize that that's also another fundamental problem. But yeah, I don't think. I think the club has seen where the problems are. Now, there's no longer excuses, like I said. We've all identified, obviously positions where we lack. And with the centre backs being one of them, fullbacks being another one of them, midfield obviously being the most crucial, which we should solve. I don't want any excuses. We should solve it in the summer alone. We've had way too many chances where we've looked at this position and we just let it go. And so I'm hopeful that if we can at least solve the midfield, that's your nucleus of your team. You solve that area, you can pretty much survive somewhat with only getting one centre back this summer, and you can go and maybe add another one or two the following summer. But more or less, we need to work on the attacks, attacking. The way we attack, and obviously with the fullbacks being crucial to that. If we can solve those areas and the midfield, then we're pretty much halfway there. And you get the centre backs, I think you then now could be challenging or at least winning a league title, because you've solved the most fundamental places where the team lacked. But yeah.
Jarvis, what do you think?
I'm actually doing a research on the turfs, the grass, and how it works. So, what's the question again?
No, it's all right. You do that. I'll go to Ben. Ben, centre backs. You Jarvis, you do that. You do that research. Let us know.
Yeah.
Ben, what do you think about the lack of centre options? And are you worried for next season?
Of course, somewhere.
You've got so many injury-prone centre backs.
Of course, I'm worried. I've said it to you, Nerd, and I've said it to the chat, man. We need a centre back, 3 midfielders, left back, left wing, and right back. People are actually dismissing the right back option as well. Like, I actually think this might be a mad take. I actually think the right back and the left back option is way crucial than the left wing right now. And that's just my personal opinion, because I actually have a lot more faith in Dorgu doing a job for us for a whole season. Yes, he might not be the best player in quality, but one thing that Dorgu offers is off the ball. Like, he just keeps his position so well. He's very, very well positionally disciplined, and the fact that one of the biggest issues we've had last season was our fullbacks, not overlapping. And not only just the fullbacks, centre backs as well. We've had different combinations of fullbacks this season, not only just under Michael Carrick, but under Ruben Amorim as well. Even I think the only person that never really mixed with his centre backs was Eric Ten Hag. He always kept with Varane and obviously Martinez when they're fit, and we knew obviously what kind of chemistry them two built. It was mental. It was really, really good, strong partnership, and that's what football's all about, man. It's all about partnerships, and obviously the spine in football is your goalkeeper, your centre backs, and your midfield. And right now, we have so many different profiles of centre backs, and I don't like it. Only player I actually have a bit of faith in is Aiton Heaven, and to some extent, De Ligt. I love De Ligt. I didn't actually mind the signing at all. I actually was getting really hyped for De Ligt, because you know, I searched about him. Like I loved the man. Like when he was at Ajax, at Bayern as well. I think people are actually dissing Dillet too much. He was like, people are saying he's just a Maguire man, but bro, he's helped us so much throughout his United career, man. And I just, you know, I just hope his back injury doesn't affect him anymore, man. Going into next season, but the issue is I'm having with centre back situation is I don't know who's out there for centre backs wise. For me personally, and this is if I'm Ineos, by the way, this is just me. I'd be going all in on that is it South America? Is it? I think he's South American, bro. From PSG, Paco. Is it? Is it Paco? I think it's Paco. I don't know. Anyways, I would be going all in for him. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. And the fact he's come from the French league, it's next level shit. I'd be going looking for centre backs from the French league if you're not going to get him from PSG. But anything around there would be good. But do not bring me a Bastoni from Serie A or even the Spanish league. I just don't think Spanish league produce good centre backs. Or like people are saying Koundé, but I think Koundé's washed now, man. I just don't need Koundé anymore, man. I think he's been found out so many times, man. So for me, I'd be going looking at that French league, and you know, it's you know, like I said, I'm just so worried, man. You got Martinez, who's injury prone, Delit's injury prone. People are gonna say this as well, but you know, Lenny Euro is injury prone. Lenny Euro is actually injury prone. So we've got 3 injury prone players. The only player that hasn't really had a horrible injury is Aiton Heaven. And well, Maguire's injury prone as well. Like people are forgetting Maguire had a horrible injury under Ten Hag and Ollie. You know, it's a fucking mess, man. And you know, I think we need the centre back role and the right back role is a little bit going under the radar these days, Nerdin. Like I remember people were actually saying the striker and the left wing's more important than the centre back and the right back. Which I disagree. I personally disagree. I'm not going into next season with Dalot as our right back, and people are actually going to say, "Oh, Dalot's been class for us this season." You know, this that, bro. I'm a right back myself, and I'm not comparing myself to Dalot, by the way. I'm nowhere near Dalot's level in terms of like he's way up there. Like, you know, obviously I'm just saying that, but the fundamentals of being a right back, he just doesn't do. He does not do. He's literally nowhere near his centre back when they have the ball. He doesn't overlap much. He doesn't underlap much. He doesn't invert much. He just stays in the width, and he just stays too. He just leaves such a big gap with Maguire, man, and it's just a shame that, you know, obviously he's been here for so many years. He should have left a long time ago, like, you know, 2 or 3 seasons ago for me. But yeah, I just get rid of him, man. I've seen a lot more in Mazarawi, even though he's not playing much. He's just so composed in the ball. We've seen what he did the Brighton game. And I just hope that Michael Carrick starts Mazarawi. People give him too much stick at that City game, that Derby game, saying Mazarawi just came back from injuries, took Dalot place, but he was shocking in that Derby. But bro, man only had 1 or 2 games of like, he wasn't even match fit at all, man. And I just don't know what goes through our heads at times with the fan base. But centre back's super essential, Nerd. I don't know if you know, or Jarvis, if you guys know any French league, the league on centre backs, if there's any up and coming centre backs from there, like feel free to the chat as well. If you guys have any names, put them in the comments, bro. I'd love to hear.
Well, for me, I don't think we need a young centre back. I think we have 2 young centre backs. We don't need 3. We also have Fredrickson as the 3rd option when it comes to young centre backs.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
If that's what we're looking for, I don't think so. We need someone experienced because I can clearly predict that Licha will get a couple of injuries next season, and same goes for the Ligt. Will he be back before Christmas? Who knows? We don't know the severity of his surgery. You know, his back surgery, and will he ever recover? That's something we need to take into consideration. I don't think we have planned signing a centre back this season. I can't see us doing that. I think we will spend our resources on 3 midfielders, left back and left winger, and backup striker. So that's 6, and a backup goalkeeper who comes in. But that will probably be a loan deal because we will send out Kovac. No, what's his name? The other guy on loan. So that can easily be done. But for me, so I see 7 signings with the loan deal on the reserve goalkeeper coming in this season, but no centre back. I think we are gambling on this. We are gambling that Lenny Yoro will do bits. I think we are gambling on Aiden Heaven to play well. I think we are gambling on Licha not getting injured again. And, if everything fails, we can play Masraoui as centre-back and Luke Shaw as centre-back. So I don't think I give it a 3% chance for us to sign a centre-back. So I haven't looked at centre-backs, and I don't think we will sign them. We know, for example, Spurs are looking at centre-backs. They have recently signed Senesi. He's agreed a deal with them. And also they are trying to get Van Hecke from Brighton, and De Serbi, he likes to play out from the back, so he needs ball secure centre back. So this is where the De Serbi rebuild starts. So I think maybe Spurs will do better next season if they back De Serbi. But by the way, I did a little bit of research when it came to the pitches in the US. So let me just show you some footage of how it's done. First of all, this is how they roll out the grass because these are not football stadiums as the ones we are used to in Europe. These are American football, so they're mainly concrete and AstroTurf. So they have removed the AstroTurf. And this is how they lay the grass. So it's you see how thick it is, the crust of the pitch. So it's not much, it takes the time for it to get the grip, and just to show you an illustration of how this works. This is a regular football pitch in Europe. Hybrid, so it's 95% grass, and they sow in about 5% artificial grass. And you see, you have a sub base, you have a crushed stone gravel layer, you have irrigation, watering system, and you have 2 types of sand, and then you have a hybrid grass seeding on top of it. The American football stadiums are not built at the same standards. We know this. We have seen this before. So this is how they are going to build them. It's a stadium floor of concrete, and you have a platform of concrete with air in it. And then you have a drainage system, so the water can drain. And then you have sand for 30 to 40 centimeters. And then you have the natural grass, as you saw, that was laid on the grass. So this pitch is much harder, and the grass is not fully set. And it's also, as I said, 5 to 10% artificial grass sowed into it. There are a couple of stadiums in the Premier League or in England that have a hybrid grass with artificial grass and regular grass, and that's Wembley. And the other one is Spurs Stadium, the new stadium of Spurs. They, as far as I know, they are the only one who have this hybrid type of grass. And the problem is, because it's plastic, artificial grass, the friction is higher. So it's not, you don't slip as much, but it also, you get your boots stuck in this grass. And just as a curiosity, I think Spurs was the team with most injuries in last year's Premier League season, and they play on this type of grass. So I just lay my case when it comes to injuries in the World Cup. I think we will see a lot of injuries because of this, and you can see the sand root and the natural grass, how thin it actually is. And then you just have the small drainage layer and a lot of concrete. It's nowhere near the stadiums we are used to and the pitch quality that we are used to in Europe. So again, you know, it's just it's just the way it is. But I think stuff like this is interesting. You know, I'm a nerd, so that's that's why I show this to you. I think. But I don't know. Do you think it will affect our players? Do you think we can see a lot of players coming home from the World Cup injured?
Yes.
Have you seen it already, Jarvis? That some players have been trying to bounce the ball. The ball doesn't bounce. The ball's not bouncing. I don't know if you saw it.
Concerning.
So the ball's not bouncing like it would, like off a grass going really high. The ball goes like that. So players have to. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very.
It really, really is. I really am.
The other night showed.
What?
Whoever's going to win the World Cup is going to pack the midfield. The heat.
100%.
The heat is unbelievable. Last time Brazil won, did you see it, Jarvis? They took off Casemiro and they took off Bruno Guimaraes. Bruno Guimaraes and Casemiro got ran over by Panama. Ran over.
Wow.
If you can find the game again, go and watch it.
Panama.
They make it a 3 in midfield and bring Paquetá and a couple of other midfielders on. Brazil take complete control of the game. Last time Brazil, they played 3 in midfield. They played 3.
They do, yeah.
And that's why they won it. And what happens with a 3 in midfield, there's not lot of running in that heat. It's whoever manages the heat is the most important. And the European teams, whoever manages the altitude, because in Mexico,
yes, man, crazy, bro.
Yeah,
it's like, but I can actually feel for like the likes of Kobe Mainu or all the European players who aren't used to the heat, man. Like playing over there, especially in America, like over in the summer, like you're hitting 30, 35 degrees heat. So like it's very difficult for footballer, man. Like I remember 2 or 3 seasons ago for me, like we had a preseason game in Malaga and in Spain, and it was about 32, 33 degrees heat, and off the start, we were obviously the intensity was great. We were actually we were getting into the game, but see, after like half time, we were just so fucking tired. Like we just could not match their sharpness or match their fitness because they're so used to the heat. And that's the whole joys of the UK. It's majority of the time it's always bloody freezing. Like, but I really am worried about. I mean, I never really liked like the United States football pitches. Like even in the NFL, like the football, the American football, like their pitches are really nice, but they're nowhere near as good as what people say it is. Like I just think it's too overhyped, and I'm just really, really worried, man. I just pray that none of our players, even Kobe Mainu, gets a serious injury, man. But it's going to be very, very concerning. Like, but guys, I have a question though. Coming back to your opinion, Jarvis, regarding experienced centre backs. I do agree. I do agree. Like I said, obviously we need. Obviously, I don't mind obviously a youngster, but obviously experience is what we need. Obviously, because Maguire's injury prone, De Ligt's injury prone, Martinez is injury prone. Like we're losing that, that experience obviously at the moment. Like and we need someone in. But I had a wee look there. Like there really isn't many. I'm just going through. Like I just went over 150 centre backs there in the market and in football right now, and I'm not really seeing many experienced centre backs right now that I would say that Man United should go for. There's one that, in a way, people aren't going to say he's not experienced, but I think he's a leader. I think he's a fabulous player. He also fits the profile of we need like if you were going to ask me right now, Jarvis, do we need a left-footed centre back or do we need a right-footed centre back? Me personally, in my opinion, I think we need a left-footed centre back. I think Martinez is more likely going to get injured than Euro and maybe at the moment because Martinez has been very injury prone. But guys, what do we all think of this player I'm about to mention? Now, people are going to say, probably might laugh, they might say whatever, but he's Premier League proven. He's in the Premier League. He's 23 years of age. I thought he was phenomenal for them, especially when they got Europe. The Brazilian left back for Nottingham Forest, Murilo. Do we like him? Like I think if we don't
We
get
have been
Elliot
linked to
Anderson,
Murillo a couple of
yeah,
times. Yes.
I like him. If we're not going to get Elliot Anderson, you know, why
But
not
it's
go
not a
for
big.
him?
He's not a big guy. You know, that's the we will still be relying on Maguire basically to win the aerial duels.
Let me see. I think is he not?
Murillo, I
Oh
think
no.
is no, it's the other one. It's the Serbian centre back who's the big one. What's his name? Milenkovic or something in the Nottingham Forest. But you know he knows how to head, but I think he's not even 6 foot.
Yeah,
Is
he's
he
6
6
foot.
foot?
He's exactly
Okay.
dead 6 foot. But
Okay, I
yeah,
thought he was
100%.
5'8" or something like.
No. But he's. I mean, he's. The thing is, the difference between him and like say Martinez, you know, he looks like an absolute beast. Like see in the box as well. Like he's a fucking beast for Nottingham Forest. Like obviously it's a Milinkovic. I can't remember his name. Like, but something. I can't remember his surname. But anyways, I really do like Murillo. I think I remember you nerd and I think you were doing a watch along with Saeed and you were really impressed with Murillo for Nottingham Forest. I think he's a good player, man. I was just saying to Jarvis there, nerd, and that I was just having a wee look at experienced centre backs in the market, like, and there's not really many experienced centre backs that are quality for enough for Man United. And obviously, Murillo just came up on my page, and I was like, can we maybe sign this guy because I still think he's a leader. He's everyone's been praising Murillo, especially that's probably one of the reasons why Nottingham Forest got into Europe was because their defense was quite phenomenal. Like, but yeah, that's just my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, last topic before we go, people here. Ralph Ranieri arrives at AC Milan and his senior sporting role, he wants to take Christopher Fell with him. Manchester United would pay him a lot more, but what do you think about that, Jarvis?
Oh, that's out of the three of Vivell and Barrada and Wilcox. I think Vivell is the guy who has the most knowledge, and he has a little bit of a track record, at least from bigger clubs. So, again, I think that will be a loss for Man United. So, yeah, I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that.
Never mind, bro. I mean, I think everyone at the club that we have that hasn't got a Scooby-Doo what they're doing. But if I was to find some hope, it's this guy. This guy like knows what he does, what he's doing. Like obviously he's had that experience at Chelsea and other clubs as well, man. And everyone spoke really highly of him. And look, bro, I'll be honest with you. If Ralph Ranieri goes to AC Milan, there's no surprise he's gonna ask the Vivell to join him, man, because obviously he's worked with him before, and obviously we know what Ralph Ranieri was to Man United. He was a fucking legend for exposing the club itself, and I don't even know if Ineos will actually encourage Vivell to stay. He'd probably think he's not the main guy. He'd probably think Wilcox is being the main guy, which is kind of a shambles. I think Vivell should be the main guy at the club because Wilcox has no big experience as a sporting director, whereas Vivell has. He's managed at Salzburg, and he's managed he's managed at Chelsea, and compared to Wilcox, who's managed at Southampton. Like who the fuck are Southampton? Who the fuck are Southampton? That's just my take.
Yeah. What do you think, Nordin? Why? What do you think about Vivell?
I think he's done a mix. I don't know if it was him that was making the decisions at Chelsea, but some of the players he bought to Chelsea didn't work out. But then Chelsea is a chaos football club. But 100%, he's the most experienced at the top level out of all the. So I agree with you. But yeah, I don't know. People have said that he's made. The transfer thing is not a dead set, isn't it? It's not a correct way. Some players fail, some players become a success. And it's about the environment that you take the players into. It's not the actual place, the environment, and how much what type of environment that nourishing and that's encouraging and that is getting the best out of players. That is what he's done. But in terms of his eye for talent, 100%, he's got a good eye for talent.
He worked as a scout for over 5 years for Red Bull Salzburg, and I'm looking at his track record now, and he was the technical director for RB Leipzig for 2 seasons, and then he went to Chelsea for 1 year, but he lost his job, or I don't know if he resigned because he was left due having no clear role in the Chelsea structure. That's why he didn't thrive. He didn't like it there. So yeah. But technical director, as we talked about, that's the guy who's in between all the departments and trying to connect everything. And he didn't find his role. And now when he works for United, his job is director of recruitment. So he has a clear role, and that's recruiting new players.
Yeah, so we'll see. But big up, Jarvis. You did a show last night, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, we did.
Tell us about the show last night.
Yeah, we talked about Tonali and Tonali's links to City, and why City are trying to go for Tonali now, the day after they got their bid rejected for Elliot Anderson. And we talked about what might be going on. Maybe they are just pushing Nottingham Forest, saying they are looking at other options, or City has never been the type of club historically to overpay. When we talk about all the players they have signed, like Kevin De Bruyne and Silva and all of them, they always come between 50 to 60 million. They never been the type of club who pays 100 million. But they used to be like this.
Except for Grealish.
Yeah, except for Grealish, and they paid 100 million for the German.
How much they pay for Haaland, but it's nearly 100 million.
Well, the official transfer sum was about 65, wasn't it? Something, but they paid almost the same to the agent and to his dad and all of this. So yeah, it was an expensive deal. So yeah, City now pays a lot, but maybe it could be like Manchester City are just thinking it's too much, and they are going to their second target, and that's Tonali. So again, I think it makes it more difficult for Man United if City comes in for Tonali. And also, a third option could be actually Manchester City going in for both of them. They spending like madmen going in for both Tonali and Elliot Anderson, because they are going to replace Bernardo Silva, whose contract is running out, is a free agent, and also Rodri, heavily linked to Real Madrid. So maybe City are going on a mad one and signing both of them, stealing both of our top-tier targets. And then we left with Tonali as the third option, as the top-tier targets. So again, it will be interesting to see what will happen. So we had the debate on that yesterday, and yeah, it's always about transfers. And we talked about the latest reports from Bloomberg and tried to break down what's actually going on, and, the Glazers, and what will happen if they, let's say, buy out Brian Glazer and buy 10 more % of Class B shares. They will still be a minority owner, so they need to go in and at least buy the shares from 2 of the siblings. So for them to get the majority of the club and make the decision. So, and also,
what's being said. Darcy Glazer, big up to Barbara. It's Darcy Glazer is the second biggest shareholder.
Yes,
she's making
13%.
Out of United anymore without dividends. Maybe she wants money to invest in something. Yeah, maybe that is a plausible. That's a plausible.
We know that some of the Glazer siblings want out. We know that from the last time this went around. But it's a family business. They made a vote, and it's Avram and Joel who's the guys who wants to stay at Man United. So yeah.
By the way, people, the Val thing might not be true, because now that some people are saying that a couple of hours ago that they want Glasner and Raniak as a director of football at AC Milan. They want Glasner as the AC Milan coach. Let this question says, Ben, you might me asking, Ben, how is your granny doing with her cancer treatment situation? Big up James.
Big up James, man. Sending love, bro. Yeah, man, she's keeping well, bro. Still fucking keeping going strong. I mean, obviously, she's stage 4 at the moment, and obviously, when you're stage 4, you can't do anything about it. And once you can't do anything about it, the tumor will start to spread. It'll start to grow. But the good news is, it hasn't grown. It hasn't spread it much. It has spread to some extent, but she's keeping well, man. Her bloods are fantastic. She's she's literally nothing's wrong, and you know it's been over near enough 2 years, man, since she was diagnosed, and it just goes to show that you know when you focus on yourself, like you know she's a very active person. Like she didn't retire from work till she was like in her early 80s, which is just incredible, man. And it just goes to show that if you look after yourself, you know, obviously no matter what disease you've got, man, you know, your body will still be relatively healthy and fit as well, man. But she's walking every day, you know, doing her walks around the park, and you know, it's just brilliant to see, man. But yeah, man, honestly, it's shit, man, because you know, one day it will happen. Sadly, I have to accept that, like, but you know, I'm just very grateful that obviously it's been 2 years now, and long may it continue, man. Long may it continue, man. But appreciate so much, man, James, for
big up
for
to
mentioning
James,
it, man.
Big up to
Appreciate it,
James,
man.
and love to everybody who's got family suffering with that horrible
Fuck cancer, man.
Horrible cancer.
100%.
By the way, so just saying, I'm just reading a little bit more detail. So AC Milan and Glasner, they want the sporting director to be Ranier, and then they want director of football to be Vevel. So Vevel will get a promotion if he goes to AC. He's a director of recruitment now at United, but he will get the director of football there with Ranier as the sporting director.
Okay.
Yeah, big up to all of you lot. Please smash the like. Go and check out the breakdown between Jarvis and Stu last night about
Tonali and you know, the latest transfers and the Glazers.
Yeah.
That was mainly the main topics, and you know, we had a good show. 2,500 views something, and a lot of people tuned in, so it was a good show. 2 hours if you want to see more footballing debates.
Please go and hype the video as well. And by the way, please, Ben, rest of you lads in the chat, Jamie, Wayne, everybody, in 3 hours time, 2 hours time, when it proper downloads on YouTube, can you please hype this stream as well, please? Hype that.
So
means
important,
it
guys.
helps more people, yeah. So that'd be great. It'll help the channel out. Let me just go back to the last poll that we did about what we said about. So yeah, how much were you willing to pay for Mateus Fernandez? 50 million, 26, 55 million, 30%, 65 million, 36%, 80 million, 9%. So 65 is what 60 and 5 add-ons is what Manchester United fans are willing to pay. Big up to every one of you. Please smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Smash the likes. We've talked about the BS, all the BS that's going on at the club. We've talked about the interview on Omar Berrada. We caught him in 4K, him literally gaslighting Andy Mitten, and Andy Mitten just being the paid for and bought journalist that he is. Yeah, so like just cowardice.
Cowards,
no pushback, no follow-up, nothing. Absolutely nothing. But big up and love. And the breaking news today is that Michael Carrick has kept his coaching staff and will bring that Garrison. Is he Danish or Swedish? I don't know what he is, but Garrison, the set piece goes back from
Swedish. George.
Is that confirmed?
No, but most likely that's what.
Oh my God, bro! Do you remember Man United were so bad at set pieces and so bad at defending set pieces? Who was our set piece coach? It was him. He was there under Ten Hag.
To be fair, somebody has told me the reason why Manchester United got better in set pieces is because of the things that he put in place. But obviously the players didn't understand and get his way of doing things. So it's the things that he put in place that we're living on, apparently. But I remember his record was phenomenal, Ben, because Southampton in the Championship were the smallest team in terms of size, and they were conceding the most, and they weren't scoring any of their set pieces. When he was there for a year, they became the best defensive from set pieces, and they were scoring the most from set pieces. And the Championship is like 48 games,
we'll
3 games a week. So we'll see. But some people have said like what you said, and some people have gone, actually, we've been eating off what he's put in place, the plan that he put in place. Because remember, he was the last person to leave after Ten Hag left. You know what? He was one of the people that he stayed there for a couple of weeks or a couple of months or whatever, and then he got headed out by Amaru. So it is what it is, people. But please make sure you check out You check out everybody. Go and check out, like I said, the stream. I've already put it on here. Yeah, here it is. If you click on this stream here, make sure you check out the conversation about the ownership, mainly about Tonali, and about all the latest news about Manchester United. Big up to Ben. Big up to
by the way, Nuruddin, sorry for bursting in, but we had a great debate talking about Man United and do we really need to sign the number 6 because Carrick don't play with the 6. You and I, we broke it down for 25 minutes. It was actually a good debate.
And there isn't that much, Jarvis. There isn't that many teams who play with a 6.
No,
there isn't, because the system, if it functions properly, the whole team defends together. But you need 2 people who can't cover ground. For me, I want to always play 3. I always want to play 3. I don't, me personally, if you said to me tomorrow, take the 57 million for Bruno Fernandes, I would. And I'll just play.
I'd set him for fucking mil.
Yeah, well, we will never sell Bruno, and as long as he's in the club, we never play with the number 6. That's the thing.
I want to
play with the 10 and 2 8s, not the 6 and 2 8s.
I want to reiterate there. I don't think we should be ever saying that there's the 6 position is like non-existent in football. Like in my opinion, like any solid midfielder out there in the world is an 8 or a 6. The position we should be saying right now, Nerd, and what you've just said about the 6 is the 10 rule. The 10 rule should be non-existent in football right now because you can't simply win major fucking trophies with a number 10 man. The only time you'll ever win a major trophy with a number 10 is if you have a specialist fucking player in that fucking position. And right now, I can't name many teams that in the world right now that have a specialist number 10. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. You literally go.
Caicedo.
They're not really number 10s, Jarvis.
No, number 6. Yeah.
Oh, number 6. Yeah. But the thing is, so Jarvis, like Tchouaméni is he's not a 6. He's an 8 as well. Like this is why I'm trying to like differentiate. You have to differentiate a 6 and an 8 like as together, and a number 10's like way down the road. Like they're on another planet. Because that's how I just see football. Like, but everyone sees football differently. Like, but I think this whole number 10 saga, it just needs to be binned off. And I've said it for so many years, man. Like, Man United need to stop playing with a number 10 and just play with a 3-man midfield. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, we played with the number 10 a lot of the time, especially under Ferguson. It's just how you see it. On paper, it was a 4-4-2, but one of the strikers were deeper in the number 10 role. And, we always played with the 10 with Man United. People don't just realize because people weren't breaking it down and all these tacticals weren't telling us what was going on the pitch.
But we played with the number 10, specifically Wayne Rooney, who was one of the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're on mute.
Sorry, I'm saying the specialized number 10 that Ben's talking about.
He was some specialist.
Was Wayne Rooney. He was
He was a midfielder.
He could. He used to go and chase back. Go back to our left and make tackles. Win the ball 100%. Back in our full-back places. So and the team was a bit more fluid. And you didn't have people being constantly out of position. Oh. Fergie would have never accepted that, Jarvis. Never in his life would he have ever accepted what we see with Bruno in terms of position.
Even De Bruyne as well. Like I've said it so many times, De Bruyne is a specialist number 10 because he's not as good as Wayne Rooney, but he did Wayne Rooney's work off the ball. That's why City won so much. And I don't like, apart from obviously the De Bruyne's, like the Wayne Rooney's, I just don't know if there's anyone in this football right now that's like their sort of profiles that can do the dirty work off the ball. It's so hard, man.
Yeah, listen, big up and love, people. Please make sure you check out Tactical Devils. Make sure you check out Marwan Luwani at Marwan Luwani 1979 on X. Make sure you check out Lesso at Black Rain on X. Make sure you check out Ben at Elmo39 on X, Elmo20 on TikTok, and Elmo20 on Twitch. He's a gamer. If you're into gaming, he's your guy. Make sure you check out Jarvis at Bowley, BOLE77 on X. And the channel is called Tactical Devils, people. Go and subscribe, like, watch the intensity. And to me, the fixed role is not a role that is really defined. There's only been maybe 5 or 6 players that have really defined that role. Fluid midfield for me, where everybody can defend, where everybody can attack, is the most important. And I will play a 3 because Manchester United was successful with a 3. Me personally.
Facts.
Big up and love, and free Palestine, Lebanon,
Come on, man.
Congo, Sudan. Free the people, free the land, free solidarity and love with all the indigenous people everywhere in this world. F the colonizers, F the imperialists, F the racists wherever they are, F the fascists wherever they are. Love is the only way. Do not ever subscribe to the hatred of others because of their religion, their ethnicity, their creed, their color, their gender, their orientation. One love, people. One love. One love. Don't spread hate. Be against hate. Stand against something. Yeah.
Sending love to Bombay as well. By the way, you know, obviously he hasn't been on much, but I'm sending so much love to Bombay with what's going on in Lebanon. Honestly, it's fucking.
What Zios are doing, the world. The Zios have got the PDF files who run this world on all the tapes with children. People, that's what's happening. Nobody's gonna tell you that. Yeah. Big up, love, and solidarity to the Sikh community and the community down Southampton. They tried to make a political gain out of a tragic, horrendous fatal harm that happened. Talk about the police training. The amount of black and brown people that have been killed in this country in the hands of the police, and the police did fail to administer first aid. It is tons of people. So don't fall for Farage and Tommy Robson's
facts.
racist rhetoric. Love and light.
And big up to Celtic, by the way, because Celtic were in talks with Robbie Keane to be a coach, and Robbie Keane is now officially a Zionist prick. And the Celtic fans actually wrote a message to the board and to the owners saying, we do not condone this, like, since we support Palestine and everyone that's a fucking oppressed. And now it's just been confirmed that Martin O'Neill is going to be staying as coach for another year. So big up to the fucking Celtic fans, bro. We stand with fucking justice, bro. Justice has been served.
Big up to the Green Brigade. Big up to the Celtic fans. Love and light, people. Take care. Good night.
Yeah.